What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 8 of C4S Villains. I am your host JB and I am here as always with my co-host Legendy Vash, and we are here with not one, not two, but three very special guests to talk about the WandaVision season finale. Up first is my boy Nox from Project M.A.N.G.A, Chris Conkling from the Pop-O-Holics podcast, and of course, the king of games himself, RayApollo. Guys, thank you so much for being here for this podcast episode.
Dude, thanks for having us. I'm excited to be back.
Man. Yeah, man. I'm glad that you were like, hey, I guess Ray was good enough to bring back. So,
and I'm glad to be here all the time because I'm his co-host. So it's a great privilege to be here.
And I'm extremely grateful because I never get to talk about comic books on my channel. So it's lit.
Yeah, this was literally a dream come true for me. Like when we had Nox on Anime Lately, we legit talked about comics for more than an hour on an anime show. That's how much fun we were having. We were having fun talking about comics multiple times.
It was a couple times, yeah.
And then you guys know I had to get Ray back. Chris has been on. This is his third time on the show.
This is my third time now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are about to have.
When do I get my
really
jacket? I'm just wondering.
There was jackets. All I got was socks.
Fifth? All right, let's do this.
Or some pancakes with cheese?
Shut up.
We're not doing that, bro.
Definitely not.
We're not doing that.
No,
that's horrible.
It's bad, and you should feel bad.
All I need is like a Live Strong band. I don't need nothing too crazy. Just send it whenever.
Okay.
But before we get to our WandaVision season finale review, there's just two news topics that I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to get into our main segment of the episode. So the first piece of news that I wanted to talk about, which was something that drives me absolutely fucking crazy when I read it the first time. So Zack Snyder did an interview with Total Film, and he talked about the fact that WB wanted the Snyder Cut to be funnier.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't get what is up with these executives at WB. Do you not get why the first Justice League failed? You tried to give Batman quips. You made a joke out of the Flash. They overly sexualized Wonder Woman. They didn't give any good scenes to Cyborg. It's a wasted fucking piece of garbage movie. And then when what everyone wants is the Snyder Cut. We want Snyder's vision. And they're still trying to put their grubby little fucking hands into the movie, trying to make it funnier. And it's ridiculous. And I'm so glad that Zack Snyder fought his ass off to make sure that that bullshit wouldn't happen. But what do you guys think about this news?
It's totally not surprising.
They got to stop trying to be Marvel, dude.
Yeah. No, they need to do their own thing. At least when they're working with Zack Snyder. Like, he has made his own universe within the DC films. He's like carved out his own little section. Like, he has his own tone. Like, just roll with the tone. You don't have to be the Avengers. If you want to move away from what Zack Snyder's doing, do it, but like do it after the fact, you know? So I don't know if you guys heard, I mentioned it in our group chat, but I don't believe he's taking any pay whatsoever to work on the Snyder Cut. That way he has more control over the final project, which I think is a fantastic idea. That way we know we're getting like 100% this is going to be Zack Snyder's vision.
But I still think it's wild that he has to say, actually, you don't need to pay me, but can I make the movie good? Excuse me? I'm like, okay. It's everything you guys just said. Like, I get they like money, but there is making money, but they're making something that's going to last, that people are going to enjoy, you know, for years. But, you know, you make something that's not good, people are going to remember it forever. It's not good. You know what I'm saying? So
their universe doesn't
kind of backwards.
This is also their last chance to like salvage Justice League. So if this doesn't work, then
I mean, they're just gonna keep going anyway.
Exactly. They're gonna throw enough money at it until something sticks. And they'll be like, the Questions movie finally was great.
Coming to HBO Max in 2025, the WB executive cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Featuring the Green Arrow. Yeah.
DC has so much potential, and if they just like, because if you look at the Joker, it's just a good movie that happens to be about comic book characters, you know what I mean? So like they take that approach to everything you do and stop trying to make like you know, an expanded universe that you like don't really have the equation solved for. You obviously, you know what I mean? Like you gave it a couple tries, you blew it. Why don't you just like reach into this like giant pool of source material, like historically like award-winning stories? Well, people want to see those like adapted,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's like it doesn't have to be origins. You know, people know these characters. Just fucking do Long Halloween and like get your money, dog.
That would be
I
awesome.
just think it's
You
super
know what I'm
strange.
saying?
Like
Yeah.
you have all of these stories that exist in the DC universe that are loosely connected. So like, you know, they don't treat us like we're dumb. Like some things carry over from other events. That could happen with them. Like just tell a story, and if you want it to vaguely connect, let it vaguely connect. It doesn't have to exactly be like, oh no, we have to tell you exactly how this connects. No, you don't have to do that. Just tell a good story, and then if you have another story that connects to it, fit in the puzzle piece.
Sure, yeah. But
Yeah,
obviously,
like-
you guys' like future sight is like not that good. So
Yeah,
like, live in the moment, bro. Do something tight
Yeah.
right now, dude.
like Knox said, like they're trying too much to be like the MCU. Like it was like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy made a bunch of money. Let's make Suicide Squad because we have our own ragtag group of people. And then you make that, and then you try to make it like this 2-hour long music video, and it's a garbage movie.
It's
And
so
then you
bad.
take Justice League and then you try to make it Avengers. No, dude, it doesn't work. Like, figure out the tone for your characters. Like, you can't have. And this is even where I have issues with the MCU, right? Like, Age of Ultron, I don't like that movie because even
good.
in the third act, the world is literally about to end, and even Captain America is
Just
making
jokes.
quips.
Yeah, it didn't work.
People are falling to their deaths. Pieces of buildings are crushing people, and he's making quips to Ultron bots. Like, I did not like that at all.
Yeah.
So all of that quipping doesn't work, and it's like DC is taking the wrong lessons from the MCU. Like, do your own thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I definitely see where you're coming from. Age of Ultron was also like the last film before Kevin Feige took full control of Marvel Studios. So it makes sense why it has like those tonal issues.
And plus to add, like, I'm happy with Justice League and everything, but I hope they get some type of Kevin Feige within Warner Bros. For the DC movies, because they don't have somebody that giving them some type of direction. They don't have a head to where they want to lead these Batman films, Suicide Squad films, HBO Max shows. Like, where are they headed? Like, it just keeps hearing news every year. Oh, this is greenlit, but like, where is it going? Like, is this just a film to be filmed? Is this just a TV show to be a TV show? Or is this a reason to actually be here? That's why I'm kind of curious about, because we have no type of direction. Like, we know about Black Adam that's been announced for the past 10 years because of The Rock. And he's finally doing this production.
It's not real. It ain't gonna be real till I see it.
Well, he keeps right now.
That just shows the further lack of a plan, bro. It's just like, oh, Dwayne Johnson's hot right now. What comic book role could we give him? Black Adam, cool. It doesn't fit into our universe anytime soon, but fuck it. Like, they're idiots, bro.
But like,
Yeah.
I hope we get some type of leader within the next couple of years. At least they can know, like, hey, cool, you want to be like the MCU? First, get a leader so we can head there and be a competition. Because in the comics, you guys are competition, Marvel and DC. But in the movies, you guys have no competition towards MCU.
Yeah.
Walter Amada is making them money. Like, the movies aren't that great, but he's making them money. I don't see them removing him anytime
That's why
soon.
that's why they keep letting this happen. It's like, well,
But
we're making
they
money,
could make
so-
more money.
That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Exactly. At the end of the day, all they care about is that they're making money right now.
Yeah,
It's a
but they,
business.
but they
What's
constantly
that
like kind
terrible
of like
saying?
fumble the
If
bag
it
and
ain't
make no
broke,
money.
don't fix it. Or, you know,
But
it's
they
like,
could make more money if they actually make good films, where it's actually good films like
I'm sure they
Aquaman,
think that they're
Shazam, and
great.
others.
It made so much money. This is a great movie.
Yeah, and I feel like we're still talking, like, I kind of like zoned out for a second, but we're still talking about DC Entertainment Universe, right?
Yes,
I was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think with DC, they do learn the wrong lessons very often, like JB said. Like, you look at Green Lantern, that movie made like $1, you know, or something. And then what does DC
No,
do?
I took my
Oh,
money
I
back.
guess people just don't like Green Lantern. Like, no,
But
you
that's
made
the-
a
yeah,
fucking
that's the
bad
lesson
movie.
learned.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. I feel
No,
like they're
it's
still making
crazy
similar
that we live in a
mistakes.
world
Yeah.
where a Justice League film didn't breach $1 billion.
Yes, that's what I was just about bringing up. Like, Justice League should be breaking box office numbers. Avengers, those type of heroes where barely anybody knows, makes box office numbers and records, and Justice League couldn't even crack $1 billion.
So
Like,
you
that's
see,
just wild.
this is the thing. It's like, it's the power of telling a story. You know,
Yeah.
you could take any character and make them great if you give them a decent story.
Exactly.
That's how it works. These characters absolutely could have had it. They had the pedigree to live up to, and they went. I think they just basically went on the names, and that's why we got what we got.
That's exactly what they did. Like, they thought they were so clever at the end of Justice League,
Batman's
where
in it.
Cyborg says "Booyah." It's like, you thought you were so clever. You didn't earn that shit.
Oh, he said it though.
Here.
He said the thing.
He said the thing.
Take my money.
I was hyped when he said it, but I'm like, he didn't deserve it though. Like, you can't say it and you don't deserve it to say it, my guy. Like, nah, that don't work.
Especially this Cyborg. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say
this is sad boy. This is sad boy Cyborg. Why you even? You ain't got you cannot be happy now, sir. No.
Yeah, like you literally just got made into a robot because of your father's mistake, because of father box and everything. Like, what? No.
Give sad boy Cyborg his one moment of happiness. Jeez.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see all of the scenes that they cut out for Cyborg. I'm excited to see Darkseid, Granny Goodness, like all of the other characters that they're going to bring out. Zack Snyder actually released new footage today of Black Suit Superman coming out of the ship, like looking at the different suits.
I'm waiting.
I'm so ready for the Snyder Cut. Like, Knox, are you excited for the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. I mean, I'm not like I'm excited for it because I know it's going to be better than the original. But I'm not like,
thrilled, like
biting my nails waiting for it, because I just like don't like getting my hopes up inside of this kind of area anymore. You know what I mean? But I'm ready to be surprised and blown away and grateful. You know what I mean? That for what we get.
We're 2 weeks out. We're 2 weeks out.
I know that's kind of exciting, man.
I'm a huge Snyder fan. Like, I love his movies.
What am I gonna
watch? Dude, me too.
First?
I love Watchmen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Falcon Winter Soldier. Or am I gonna watch Snyder Cut first?
Zack Snyder.
I don't know. Do you want to carve out an hour or 4 hours first? That's really
well.
I'm gonna need a nap between that movie. I'm telling you. We're gonna
Thankfully, there are chapters.
Oh,
There's chapters in the Snyder Cut, so you can be like, all right, this is the beginning of a chapter. I'm just gonna pause it here and take a 2 hour nap.
Take an intermission and come back.
Well,
there's actually going to be an intermission when you see it in the theaters.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yep, it has to be.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to see it in theaters for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's got to be the experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I saw, Zack Snyder's film it comes out on Thursday, and Falcon Winter Soldier comes out on a Friday.
Oh, hell yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier technically come out, Thursday night, but whatever, it's fine.
What, 3 a.m. or 2 a.m.
on the East Coast? It's 3 a.m.
Like for us, it's 3 a.m. For you guys, it's 2 a.m. And for the West Coast, it's 12.
I'm gonna watch. It's gonna take me a whole week to watch Justice League. So like, it is what it is. I have a full-time job. I'm gonna have to watch this in chunks. So
yeah. But next piece of news that I wanted to talk about was the Superman reboot that J.J. Abrams is making. So J.J. Abrams seems to be the new guy right now at DC making films. He's making a Justice League Dark series. There's going to be a Constantine series attached to that. And now we know he's making a Superman reboot that may not have Henry Cavill. So Knox, I want to start with you. How do you feel about a reboot instead of a sequel to Man of Steel? And how do you feel about the potential of not having Henry Cavill?
I don't feel good about it without Henry Cavill, man. I just like it's at a point now where it's like he's Hugh Jackman Wolverine to me,
Yeah, bro.
And it's like I mean, I'll still go see it, even if he's not in it, just to see what's going on with it. But it's like it's not gonna feel right if it's not Henry to me.
Yeah, same, Chris.
Yeah.
So let me say this: I'm not like a total J.J. Abrams hater or anything like that.
Yeah, me either.
I do like some of his movies, but he has a tendency of like making pictures that have very cool moments but are like completely devoid of any type of substance. So like in his mind, he's like, this would be a really cool moment, but it's totally empty because it means nothing in like the greater scheme of the story, or like it doesn't have any relation to the characters that we're seeing on screen. James knows I absolutely hate The Rise of Skywalker. We don't have to get into that right now, but I'm actually more excited that this piece of news says that Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to be writing the screenplay.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most excited about, honestly.
Yeah. Really excited
about
that.
That's going to be dope.
Yeah, Ray?
That's the only thing I'm excited about, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. Coates gave me some of my favorite like fiction and like actual like literature recently.
Just a cool ass dude, like involved in the hip hop community and shit. Like kicks it with Wu-Tang and shit. Like, come on,
he tells a really good like story. Like he just tells a good story.
Yeah, for real.
So I'm like, I am really curious to see what he does. I like his Captain America run. Of course, I love his Black Panther run. So it's like, I think he could do it. Like if he takes exactly what he did from Captain America and turns it into Superman, it'll be great. I'm telling you, that's all he has to do is copy paste, really, and it'll be like, oh, that's actually really good.
We'll see if they do that, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just
but
have him hand it to J.J. Abrams and be like, "Do not change a damn thing.
Don't
I
even
swear
show
to God,
yeah.
you change
please
any
don't.
of these words."
So I mean, I love Superman. A lot of like if you know me for a long time, Superman's one of my favorites. Like good Superman stories are good stories. It's just that more often than not they miss. You know what I'm saying? And so I love Cavill as Superman. Straight up, I have issues with his stories, but I love that Superman. You know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna give Superman another shot, which I'm hoping they do for real, I'm gonna watch it. It's just I still don't know how I feel about them saying, no, we're just gonna completely redo it again. This ain't Spider-Man, bro. So we'll see.
They're just gonna keep doing it until they succeed.
Yeah. Vash, what do you think about this news?
Like Dre and Chris said, I'm also excited for the person that's gonna be writing and everything. But for JJ, not really that hype for. It sucks that if Henry Cavill don't come back, I'm gonna be sad for it because he's great as Superman. He's great as The Witcher. He's awesome for that. But to see him back as Superman, that's what I would like to see. Like, I want him to continue that role. He loves that role too. Like, he always talks about it. And to not see him come back, I'll be sad about it because I want to actually see him, like, his evolve of Superman as Clark Kent. And then maybe we see in the future, John Decay and everything like that. But if he don't come back, that sucks. Hopefully they do a better justice for the storyline for Superman. That's my hope for it.
Yeah, my only issue is that J.J. Abrams makes very safe movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did that with Star Trek when that needed to be rebooted. He did it with Star Wars. He makes very, very safe movies. And I don't know.
And I will say that that's usually a good thing because I feel like it kind of guarantees that the franchise at least gets a second movie. And because every single time he's done it, they got another movie. Doesn't mean that it was as good as the one he did, but
that is true.
They got another one, so there's potential. Like, it's basically, hey, please come in and set this up for us so we can maybe keep it going.
Yeah,
like,
as long as he's writing the first one and not the last one.
Exactly. Please, because
we'll be good.
The man can't close to save his life. He cannot seal the deal. He just can't. But he can start a story real quick, and I like it. I love, he got me with Force Awakens. I'm like, okay, there might be something here, bro.
That's true.
He got me too.
Yeah,
he got me too.
I was like, I feel Star Wars.
Exactly,
again.
I feel something, and then they were like,
going to be a great
wait a minute,
trilogy,
sir. No,
oh no.
So yeah, I'm hoping that it's different this time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let's hope it's a little bit different with Superman. Let's hope they find a better balance of what that character needs to be, because I get all of the criticisms from Man of Steel, right? I get the no one wants to see the brooding Superman. I get it. I love it. But I get that people don't want to see it. So I hope that they find a good middle ground, because what Zack Snyder did succeed in is making a Superman that fits into real life. People would not just see, oh, Superman, he's our savior. No, people would be scared to death of him because he could murder everyone on the planet in like an hour.
Low diff, no diff, negative diff.
Like... So I need someone to find a good balance of those two things, showing that shining light that Superman is, that ray of hope, but also the despair of dealing with this godlike being just living on Earth.
I mean, and I think it's because they were scared to show the military power aspect. Like, think about that. Authority would be terrified of Superman. All you have to do is show that aspect versus the people, which there will be people who are afraid of him, yes. But like the police, military, governments will be terrified of Superman because they couldn't control him. And I would love to see that story. Like, that's really all you gotta do. Like, I don't need grandma walking down the street and be like, that man flies, I'm terrified. I don't need that. But I see some mayor sitting in the office like, hey, yo, this man, we can't control him and he might, expose our shady dealings. Of course, I'd love to see that. Like, give me that. But
and we get a little bit of that fear in Man of Steel.
A little bit, we do.
Lennox is fearful of what Superman could possibly do.
Yeah, but
it's not explored to that degree. So
they're exploring that a bit with the Superman and Lois show. They're exploring that a bit with Captain Luthor and narratives with what's going on there. So, and like showing what happened with Crisis. So they're showing the whole government aspect as well, showing that like what he can do. But maybe with the next 14 episodes of the show, they will continue showing that the growth. But who knows how it's gonna go? Because it's CW, so it's made by them. So who knows?
Yeah. Knox, are you watching any of the CW shows? Like, do you fuck with those at all?
I am not. I tried The Flash and like Arrow like way back in the day, and I was just like, what am I doing here? I just it's nothing against them. I just like never. I don't know. I just think that the CW is just a bad place for those things. I know that there's value in them, absolutely, and it's just like if it was up to me, I would have them on a different syndication line. But and then like I feel like kind of like douchey about that, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna check it out anyway. And then like Arrow was just like, you know, this soap opera of a character of a series, you know what I mean? And it's just like not what I remember from Green Arrow in the comic books, and that like triggers me, you know what I mean? So I never really went back to Arrow. And I'm sure that there is Arrow storytelling that like makes him that where he's like that. I just never saw it, and so like it was just the stars aligned, and I never continued the Arrow series. And I tried the Flash. I thought the Flash was cool. Never went back for like not reasons of dropping it. It just never happened. But that's like my experience with the CW. So
have you tried watching Titans or is it Doom Patrol? Have you tried watching those two?
I haven't. I want to do Doom Patrol so bad because I love Grant Morrison's run on Doom Patrol, and I love Brendan Fraser, and I've been like, where has this man been? Like The Mummy was like my favorite fucking movie franchise when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I've been super hyped for Doom Patrol, but just haven't had the time to get to it. But that is like what I'm like the most excited for. I haven't done Titans. I saw like the trailers where he's like, fuck Batman. I was like, oh shit, okay, that's new. You know what I mean? But then just never did it. But I know it's good though. I've heard really good things about both of those. Yeah.
Yeah, because those are right now on HBO Max, and they're less soap opera-ish. I have not seen Doom Patrol yet, but I heard it's like one of the best ones out of all that I've ever done. Titans, I've saw like the first 6-5 episodes. They're all right. Nothing too crazy, but I heard that season 2 it's a lot better because of the budgeting. Storyline is much better and more smoother, and plus the costume design for Starfire and other cast members much better as well.
I'm glad somebody likes it. That's fine.
I enjoyed it.
Doom Patrol doing numbers. I heard.
That was great numbers.
Because Doom Patrol is good. Like legitimately good. Like I feel like I will say I wouldn't say trippy. It's more edgy than anything. I'll be honest, and like, but in a way that it deserves to be. Like it needs to be. It makes it interesting. I'll be very honest. Because I've seen probably half of it, and I'm like, okay, no, I see. I like this. I see. First of all, like this works. It's just I need to finish it, but yes, it kind of did what I don't know, kind of like what The Boys did, but like to me better because it still has like the actual comic book flair to it still. So,
so you read The Boys comic and watched the show.
So I have read some of The Boys because I mean some of that
comic
stuff is
sucks.
tough. It's tough, bro.
Yeah. I can't do the book. Like, everyone says that the show is incredible though. So
the show is actually like decent. Like most people who know me, it's like that's like hyper violent. And for me, it's like, yo, usually I don't care for stuff like, but I'm like, I want to see what happens, and so I keep watching it. And it's because it's the production quality is high, and the actors and actresses are actually really good. So like that's why I keep watching it.
Warren Ellis is just like too edgy in like the work for me. Like it just feels like I understand that there's value in like regressive storytelling like that. You know what I mean? Right. But like it just wasn't hit. Like I just rather read Preacher if I'm gonna read Warren Ellis. Something like that, you know what I mean? Like I don't need the boys, bro. Yeah, I don't need the boys.
There's like this. The boys is like, what? You know, if I just decided to go off the deep end, what would I write?
How racist can I make these characters?
How racist
how
and
homophobic
sexist
can I make
and
these characters?
Can they? I'm like, nah.
So I haven't watched it.
I didn't see it took too long for me to see the point, so I was just like,
it's always man, yeah. I would just say literal Nazis, bro.
I wish the CW shows were just on a different network. Like I wish they would just go to HBO Max instead of 24 episodes, cut them down to like 13 or 16. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah,
cut out all the fluff, all that bullshit.
Just tighter storytelling.
Yeah, all of that relationship drama bullshit, all the angsty teens on the CW, like it just doesn't need to be on these shows. Like just cut all that bullshit out, put it on HBO Max, make some like really good stories. Like it's so frustrating.
Make the shows for adults.
I
mean,
and just write it better. Like there's no need to just repeat the same story of what happened in episode 2 where Barry cannot run fast enough, but then for some reason in episode 6 he cannot run fast enough again. I'm like, didn't we just fix that back in episode 2?
Dude, it's so dumb. It's like, guys, they got away. What do you mean they got away? You're the Flash. This person has fire powers and they ran out of a door. How did they get away? You can
just run around the next 3 blocks.
Entire planet in minutes. What the fuck are you talking about?
How many times has he had the Speed Force stolen from him in that show?
Oh my god!
I'll say
literally every time.
I'm about to say like max 20 times out of the past 7 seasons. Like my dude always be telling me like I can't run fast enough, and like Tom Kavanagh, the way he just says 3 lines, like 3 words, he's like, "Run, Barry, run." But somebody says it so good, I'm like, I'm gonna run. But just it's so good, I'm like, cool, damn. But like Tom Kavanagh, the way he says it and the chemistry with what happened, it's like just so good. But I agree with what Jason said.
Tom Kavanagh is the best part of that show.
Seriously, the only parts I like from that are his
Jesse.
Zoom. That's it. Like I love that. Like he is great as a Reverse Flash. Like
Don?
Like,
oh yeah, hell yeah.
I'm like, that's the only thing I like. Like when he's there and it's his dynamic versus Barry, I'm like, oh.
Well, I'm really happy that they got Don right in the.
That's the best out of the show.
Definitely did.
That's cool. I might go back and fuck with it now. Then
I would go just find out what those are. Just watch those because it's like my favorite stuff.
Just watch season 1, 2, and 5. I think is it. Yeah, season 1, 2, and 5.
You're telling me to skip 3 and 4?
I like 3.
Yeah,
I mean, 4
3 was weak.
What are you
4
doing?
is dog shit.
Yeah, 4 is dog shit. 3
season 4 is absolute dog shit. They've ruined the Thinker. The Thinker is such a cool Flash villain, and they ruined him.
I just didn't like Savitar.
I gave up after season 1.
I love Zoom was nice.
Dope, man.
With Grant, not Grant.
I watched a little bit of Zoom.
I like Garrick's. That was pretty interesting. That's why I like season 2 because it was interesting. Like not
that
twist.
reveal was interesting, but after that, it's like, oh.
That's where I mean, like they should have cut it after the twist.
And literally everything with Thawne, I'm like, yeah, give me that. I like that. It's good.
Yeah. So Knox, I think it's season 1, 2, maybe season 3. Depends on you, but James says season 3. But me, I say season 1, 2, and 5.
Bro, if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch the whole thing because it's like if it's like okay, if season 1 and 2 are tight and then 3 and 4 are cheeks and then season 5 is amazing, it's like I'm not gonna skip to see. Like I need that narrative connection.
For sure.
Knox, I'm gonna recommend that you.
I would like to revisit.
Season 5 is just a bunch of cold-blooded fights. Or like what am I
revisit this conversation after you do this, and if you even make it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. If you make it, be like, damn, I can't do this.
It gets rough, bro. It really does.
Yeah, and it's a CW problem. But I want to talk about some good comic books. So we are going to move into our first segment of the night where we are going to be recommending a comic book to you guys. Like we talked about in a previous episode, we are going to be recommending comic books at least once a month, and I want that episode to be the first episode of every month. So we're going to do this every month, and then we might increase it from there because it's going to be a lot of fun. So Knox, since you're the newest guest on the podcast, I want you to go first and let the fans know what comic you recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You guys ever heard of Marvel Ruins?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just talking shit about.
Actually, I didn't think that one though.
I was just
heard of it,
yeah.
Heard of it, but I don't know much about it though. I'll be honest about that.
It's
heard
good.
Of it, though.
It's a really cool story. I was just talking shit about Warren Ellis like 5 minutes ago, and then I recommend something by him, which is. Just like, but no, I love Warren Ellis, dude. I love his run on Moon Knight with Declan Shalvey. That's like my favorite Moon Knight run, dude. That art is some of the best comic book art you'll ever see. Dude, Warren Ellis is good, man. But I just don't like the boys. Anyway. Ruins is tight. It basically says like what if the Marvel universe the tagline on it is like everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but what it really is just like, you know, the Marvel universe, if like things happen like for real, like in the real world, like if like, you know, the Hulk got hit with the gamma bomb, you know, he wouldn't really turn into the Hulk. He'd turn into like a puddle of goo. You know what I mean? So like, it's basically like goes through, you know, origin stories of characters and says like, well, what would happen if Spider-Man actually did get bitten by a radioactive spider? Like, sure, you might get like a boost of some kind of chemical in your brain, but then you'll literally just start rotting away because it's fucking radiation, you know, like things like that. You know what I mean? I don't really want to talk about it too much because literally everything that happens is kind of a spoiler because it like kind of like spins our perception of, you know, these characters like in a million different directions. But yeah, it's really cool. It's very like, you know, it's Warren Ellis, so you can expect like a lot of like really dark, like dystopian like stuff. You know what I mean? So it's only 2 issues. Read that shit, bro.
I haven't read it, so I'm definitely gonna check it out.
It's tight. It's like so like it's drawn so cool and like I don't remember who does the art, but It's like
I'm staring at the
You
cover.
have a lot of moments where you're
looks
like,
good.
oh, that sucks, but that's cool.
Yeah, it explores things like oh wait, no, I can't even
Don't say it. Yep.
Yeah, because one of the cover.
Yeah, read that shit though.
One of the cover I'm staring at is book 2, and that's Magneto in the cover, and I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah. Ray, you want to go next?
Yes, and now I have the really hard job because I'm like, now I have to pick one of the 3, and so I'm actually probably just gonna go with my gut, which is if you're not reading the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers run, specifically Shattered Grid.
Oh yes,
I heard it's so good.
I'm gonna need you to do this. Imagine if the Power Rangers went beyond the cheesy stuff that was on TV, but they instead turned it into a badass comic, but it read like a manga.
Yeah,
this is what you get. I would like to show you one panel in particular where the Green Ranger knocks a cannon off of an enemy mech and picks it up to shoot at the other mech because he's a badass.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
My group chat talks about that Power Ranger run.
That comic is actually like outside of like main comic stuff. That's one of my favorite things. Like it is so
that's from Dark Horse, right?
Good. Yeah, this is from Boom actually.
Oh, Boom. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very, very good. And I've been a Power Rangers fan, all my life, but this was like one of the things that like a Power Ranger that actually kind of like aged up with me, which was awesome. So I like it. Recommended fully.
Yeah, I second that. Third that. That is such a great run. Chris, what about you?
So my recommendation is for people that maybe haven't read a ton of Marvel comics. Maybe they really like the X-Men. They don't know a lot about them and they want to know a lot about the X-Men, but they don't want to read a Wikipedia article because that's boring AF, right? So the book that I'm going to recommend is Ed Pisker's X-Men Grand Design.
Nice.
He both writes and draws this comic, and it's essentially, like I said, it covers X-Men, all their entire history in chronological order from the 60s all the way up to the 90s. And it has this like really sick pop art to it. He's also famous for writing and illustrating what is it? Is it Hip Hop Family Tree, I think? But I mean, just to give you a taste of what it kind of looks like.
I feel like Chip Zdarsky just did this with Spider-Man like not too long ago too.
So Marvel has a thing for kind of like taking their history and like reformatting it, right? Chip Zdarsky did. I love Spider-Man Life Story.
Yeah,
I would also recommend that as well.
Peak Zdarsky and his
in May, I believe Marvel's also going to be releasing a Fantastic Four Life Story, which I'm super pumped about.
Hell yeah.
But,
yes, they are. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah,
Didn't they do a Fantastic Four version of this too? Isn't there a Fantastic Four version of this?
There is a Fantastic Four Grand Design. I have not read it, and I don't believe it's Ed Pisker. But when something hits with them, like if it's popular, they're going to try to do it with different characters
all over the place. Yeah. And that's such a brilliant idea,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a way easier way to digest something than just like sitting at your computer, like scrolling over a wiki page,
Yeah, that's an amazing recommendation, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Vash, you're up.
My turn. For me is this one, Forever Evil.
Let's go. Fuck yeah, dude.
Jeff
shit.
Johns.
Nice.
Yes.
This is such a good run. Like it gives you the different perspective of Lex Luthor, Black Adam.
The best Lex Luthor I've ever read. Ever. Period. And it's not close. What's up, chat?
Yes.
So we'll argue about this.
I love this run, and I wish there was more that I need to find out. If there's more, please tag me on Twitter. Tell me there's more about this run of other characters that I want to see of Black Adam and Lex Luthor and everything, because you find different versions of Lois, Superman, aka Ultraman and everything. Such an interesting run. I don't want to give too much spoilers about it because it's such a good story. Like Knox was so hype about Lex and everything. You find like him and his persona of why he has this vision of the world, and with his armor, with the crew, and how he is as such as a leader. So good. So I really suggest.
It's an amazing deconstruction of Lex.
Yeah, so I really suggest this storyline of Forever Evil.
Yeah, great recommendations. I am going to go with one of my favorites. Gotta go with Age of Ultron.
Nice.
Oh, the comic.
Dude, I'm so happy that you are recommending this right now.
Good. I'm glad. That makes me happy.
This is so important.
This
especially
is
right now.
Yeah, this miniseries is one of the reasons why I love Ultron so much. This is my favorite Ultron story. And I'm absolutely obsessed with time travel
Yes.
and just
When
like
it's done
fucking
right.
around with it when it's done right and just
Yeah.
fucking around with the universe a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I like the most about Age of Ultron is it's this weird amalgamation of Days of Future Past
Yeah.
and Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. Like Ultron has taken over the world. He has murdered most of the Marvel heroes in the universe, and our heroes have to time travel backwards or forwards in time to figure out how to stop Ultron. It is one of my favorite Marvel runs. Again, it is one of the reasons why Ultron is one of my favorite Marvel villains. It is such a great miniseries. The art is amazing. The writer, Brian Michael Bendis, does such a good job with the dialogue and how the story is told in Age of Ultron. I absolutely love it. It is also another reason why I don't like the MCU Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I didn't expect it to follow that storyline, of course.
But
It's
it
in name
did
only.
drastically. Yeah.
My
I
issue,
wish that it did.
yeah, my
Like,
issue
even, like,
with it.
remotely.
My issue with it is my Ultron is the cold, calculated machine
Yes.
Ultron.
What's up with all this
I-
charisma?
Yeah, I mean
love
that was
actor, though.
okay.
I love
Yeah.
that actor. I can't
James
remember. I think
James
his
Spader.
name is-
His voice
Spader.
is amazing.
Yeah,
His
Davy
voice
Jones,
is-
right? Davy Jones, dude.
I
No,
feel
James
like,
Spader.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Spader.
Bill Nye.
Yeah, Bill Nye. So
It's
this is
James
James
Spader, the one that does it.
I wish that it had been that cold, calculating voice because he does that so well too. Like those
In
parts
Blacklist,
that
he's
are in my mind,
amazing as that
so
person.
good.
He's
amazing.
as the
My
cool
my
person in
issue
Blacklist.
my issue with that Ultron is just a petulant child lashing out at his dad. Like I
That's very
did
true,
not
yep.
like the Ultron, like Tony Stark version of Ultron.
I
That
kinda
didn't
really
work
dig
for
it,
me.
though.
I get it, man. Like James
The
Spader's
AI
awesome.
learning
The
how
design.
to hate humanity instantly.
Oh yeah,
James Spader's so fucking charismatic in that movie that I don't care.
that is true. I hated that version
They
of
just could
Ultron,
have done a
but
lot more with him. I'll be honest. They really could have.
I
Like,
agree
straight up.
because of James Spader. I like that movie, but if it wasn't James Spader, I would have not liked it because he has that nice personality and that nice holy charisma that gave Ultron a persona. But that wasn't that. But that wasn't.
And I mean,
the
if he had
actual
downloaded
character.
our current internet, which he did, he might have had. He might have been a little bit of a sarcastic asshole, which works for me. You know.
That does
Oh,
make
yeah.
sense.
I'm
very
okay.
true.
I'm okay with the personality. I just have a preference, and again, it's just the
Oh, yeah.
petulant Tony Stark child that bugged me a lot. Like he was just
get it.
whining for most of the movie. I'm like, this is not Ultron, bro. Like this is not the devastation and the level that Ultron has brought to the Marvel universe.
Right. It would be
as
cool
a
if this
whole.
was
So
like
that's
his
my
intro.
issue.
It would be cool if that was his intro, character arc, and then you kept using him. But like Marvel just
That's what I
kills
was-
all their villains
That's
and
what I
like
was
doesn't give
hoping
them
for.
any progression.
I was
you know what I mean?
legitimately
So it's
hoping
like,
for that.
yeah.
And we'll talk about something later that I really wanted to see, but we didn't get. But yeah,
Yes,
that's fine.
I know what you're gonna bring up. Yep, about the White Vision. Yep.
Oh, we're talking
it's-
about Vision Quest. Oh, oh my God! Duh, the WandaVision. What the fuck? Yo, I'm dumb.
Yo, there's a lot of deep
He
cuts.
just woke up
We're
and
gonna
thought
get
about, like,
there
oh,
real
shit,
real
yeah.
soon.
Knox
But yeah,
expressions
man.
always cracks me up.
It's literally the plot of Vision Quest. I'm screaming. Oh my God. Okay.
Welcome.
Okay. Oh, this is live, huh? You can't cut that out. No, I'm kidding.
He's right there, like, damn. It's just.
Oh, I'm screaming, bro.
I'm sorry, James. James, go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm really happy with all the recommendations. Like, we came up with some really great stuff. Chat,
Yes.
definitely check out all of these comics. They're all fire. You will not be disappointed. And check us out next month where we will be recommending even more comics with whatever guests we have at that time. So I am ready to talk about the WandaVision season finale. I
Let's do
wanted
it.
us to get into this early because there's a lot of deep cuts. I have a shit ton of notes. There's the 5 of us. We're going to be spending a lot of time talking about this shit. So let's get straight into it. Knox, I want to start with you. And I want to know your overall impression of the finale and some of your favorite moments.
Fuck yeah. Wow. I love how the Vision situation kind of like ended with or inside of like how, okay, so we know that Vision is out there now because he fused with the White One in regards, which I like because it pays homage to, a little bit more to the Vision's actual origins than his original like Mind Stone you know, manifestation did or whatever, because like that was cool for what it did, you know what I mean? It's similar in regard, okay, so it's similar in regard to like you take the brainwaves of Jarvis, which is but Jarvis wasn't a person before, you know what I mean? So it's like when you have like Wonder Man, the Wonder Man situation inside of the Vision, inside of the comic books, and it's just like memories and brainwaves and mannerisms from Simon Williams going, you know, into the Vision body, like that feels like what happened in the scene in the finale where the Vision is talking to the White One and he transfers, you know, his brainwaves and memories and mannerisms. You know, obviously, you know, this was a fake Vision, but I mean, ultimately it was a, you know, it was a combination of, you know, the Vision's memories at the time of death and what Wanda remembers. So it feels a lot more like the tried and true birth of Vision than what we originally got. So I really liked that. And I feel like that was Jack Schaefer, like really doing, you know, their homework and wanting to kind of like bring that back into the MCU. And there was a lot of respect paid to source material throughout this entire series. And in my opinion, this is the best MCU anything that I've seen. Like this is the best stretch of MCU storytelling I feel like that we've gotten so far, in my opinion. And there's something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, Paul Bettany carried the entire series. Anyway, let's go. Like acting wise, like, I'm sorry.
Bro, seriously, like WandaVision's writing is the best writing out of anything the MCU has ever produced.
Oh yeah, and it's not really close
100%.
either to me. Yeah, 100%.
It's literally the most emotionally complex piece of content that Marvel.
I cry at the end. It was like, wait, why am I tearing? Like, why am I crying right now?
It's emotionally intelligent and competent. Like
there were so many banger quotes from Vision, bro, and Paul Bettany's delivery of them, dude. There were so many quotables.
The one thing I'm gonna remember the entire time is that conversation he has basically with himself at the end about the ship, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, the ship of Theseus."
That was mad. Man, the ship of Theseus. Yes, bro.
Beautiful. This is the perfect analogy for this. And I'm
you
like,
want to know what?
wow.
You want to know what actually brought me to tears? Legitimately, what is grief if not love persevering?
Oh, bro, that was beautiful. I was like, damn.
I was like, who taught you that? You damn robot. Who taught you that? Paul Bettany, he's so good.
Yo, but it's so funny how everyone and their mom was mad that who is a special cameo type of actor that's supposed to come on the last episode? I'm like, bro, it's himself. Get over it. Everybody was mad. Like online,
we spent so much time.
I was so happy that he was like, "Oh, it was just me. Ha, gotcha."
And me, I had no problem. I text James. I'm like, I had no problem with this. And like everyone was mad about this. Like, wait, where's the special camera? Doctor Strange. It was the Falcon. Was it something like? No, it's himself. Most actors don't get the chance.
They had everybody that they needed there. If you ask me.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this: when I said that this is like the best MCU experience that I think I've had, I don't think it's the biggest. I don't think it's the most important. Obviously, the biggest would be when they broke records with like Infinity War and Endgame, if we're gonna take it there. But like just like inside of like WandaVision's like story arc, I think that is the best story arc.
It proved to me
MCU
that they can tell
far.
really good long form stories when they have the time.
Like in a vacuum. Yes. In a vacuum is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
That gave me confidence. I'm like, y'all can tell these good stories when you actually take the time to do it. You absolutely
when you hire the right writers.
So like, please keep doing that. Don't go back to what you were doing before, please. Like straight up.
Chris, give me some of your favorite moments.
I have two moments that really stick out to me, and these moments are actually not only my favorite moments in WandaVision, but I think they're some of my favorite moments in the MCU in its entirety. And the first is, of course, exactly what Knox and Ray mentioned, which is that whole ship of Theseus conversation between the two visions. I have a BA in philosophy, and I love seeing philosophical concepts be presented in the media that I'm watching because it feels like I did not waste my entire education. But the ship of Theseus is such a perfect analogy for exactly what Vision is experiencing in this moment.
Right.
This idea about what is identity, right?
Yeah.
What qualifies identity. And I love the fact that they lay out the whole thought experiment for the audience, which is fantastic because they present it in a really simple way. Everybody can understand it. And then you see them work through it to the point where they finally come to the conclusion that memory is essentially what identifies us as individuals. It's about experiences. And then this fake Vision, I think at one point the Vision even refers to himself as a conditional Vision because he's literally like chained to the hex. He cannot exist outside the hex. So he acknowledges that this white Vision that he's looking at is indeed his true self. I love that he goes and unlocks the white Vision's memories of everything that he's experienced coming to fruition, making him the real Vision again in the MCU. And just the shift from the robot eyes to Paul Bettany's human eyes. I love
so good.
It was fucking awesome. Bro. And it wasn't a battle. It wasn't a huge fight scene or anything like that. It was literally
a conversation.
It was all intellectual.
Yeah, and I love that. And if you're big into philosophy, I'm sure you noticed like Rene Descartes' outlooks kind of being like woven into the storytelling as well, as far as like Vision's mind body situation goes. At least that's kind of like what I felt from it. I don't know if you did too, but I love philosophy, dude. I didn't like study it anything hardcore, but it's like, man, YouTube videos, conversations, articles.
It's what you go to school for when you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first favorite moment. And then my second favorite moment of the episode was the entire goodbye scene between Vision and Wanda. Like, I've written down a couple quotes here that literally just fucking broke me as I was watching it. From the very beginning of that scene where Vision turns the light back on and he's like, I heard a rumor that it's bad luck to say goodbye in the dark. I was like, oh no, it's coming. But some of these quotes, like you said, are so good. Vision asks, what am I? As he's about to disintegrate. And Wanda says, you, Vision, are the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me. You are the body of you are a body of wires and blood and bone that I created. You are my sadness and my hope, but mostly you're my love. That's just like the writing of this show.
Yes, to deliver it in a poetic way like that instead of just like hard exposition is just a great decision from Jack Schaefer there.
Marvel has never been able to tackle romance in a solid way. Yeah. But this show proved that at least possible. Like you said, Knox, when they hire the right people,
it doesn't totally have to be capable. Cheesy.
They're totally capable. But those two moments, I think, will forever be some of my favorite moments in the MCU going forward. Like, they were so good.
Yes. Facts. Ray, I gotta toss it to you. It looks like you got something to say.
Look, you got something cooking in the oven.
So when it comes to this whole thing with Vision, I love how graceful they reintroduce this character to the universe, because they have this incredible character and actor in Paul Bettany where they're like, actually, we can't lose him. We cannot lose this because we have something very, very good here. And they're like, well, in most cases, it's like, well, you already killed off the character. Like, they're going to do something cheesy to bring him back. But in this, bringing him back in this way was like, for me, like,
just fell into place.
I don't like to use the word perfect for stuff like this, but it was perfect, well done that I could not see it happening any other way.
Right.
Like this just worked. And I'm like, oh wow, they legitimately did that. I have no qualms, no problems with the way they did that whatsoever, because I'm like, Vision's back in the MCU officially.
There was a moment though, I do have to say, my wife and I laughed out loud because, like, at the very beginning of that fight, he says, my prime directive is to destroy the Vision. And then at the end of their conversation, he's like, I am the Vision. And then flies out the roof. Yep. Both my wife and I were like, oh no.
He's like, wait, I am the Vision.
Destroy himself. Thankfully, we did not see a body. I'm assuming that because he has now retained the memories of the real Vision, he's not going to fucking kill himself.
Yeah, because he's the real person himself.
Please let him live on.
It's our Vision that we had through Endgame, at least. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have that. And because my wife asked me, she's like, well, does he remember like the stuff in the Hex? I'm like, no, because he gave him who he was. He unlocked who he was. Right. This is a separate Vision. Like this, like, literally.
Yeah, and this is being handled differently than the Vision Quest comic now that I'm thinking about it, because when he comes back from that lab that they had him in,
he's more heartless.
He just doesn't have the memories, you know what I mean, from before.
So
like he still
was he was factory reset.
He was factory reset and then had to have new memories, you know, like from that point on, and rebond with Wanda and things like that. Dude, John Byrne was so fucking cold in the 90s, bro, or in the 80s, bro. I swear to God.
I'm really
this is perfect though.
not to get ahead
because-
though. It's like so,
Yeah.
but like, are they gonna have the same relationship going forward? Because there's a chance they don't now that she's had it. I don't know. Like,
Well, he's got the the White Vision has the memories now. Like that's
Well,
that's
see-
the that's
see,
the difference there. So
he
like
does have the memories, but will things work out the same
right,
way? For
right.
them?
But he doesn't
hope-
have the memories of them being married and having
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Right.
So just like in the comics, there is still going to be like a gap in
Right.
his memory. I
Which
mean, he still
I'm
loved
hopeful.
her.
I'm
He
hopeful.
loved her in
Yeah.
Infinity War,
Right.
but
Mhm.
they didn't get to build a family together. He didn't experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, those 10 days of crazy sitcoms and crazy type of things, where, you know, and was Sparky dying or not dying, you know,
Wow.
technically getting killed. Or
That's the
technically
real
murdered.
thing he needed. Yeah.
So I mean, and my other thing was, like, and I was real sad. Like when she was like, oh, well, like I have to let these people go, but you have to choose. You choosing letting these people go, or you choosing this town, or you choosing your family. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, yo, Wanda, that's hard. your children and your husband are disappearing right in front of you because you are in control. Man, I was like, I love how they built up Scarlet Witch. Like they took probably, I'm not gonna lie, one of my least favorite characters from what they gave us in the MCU and made her immediately one of my most respected.
Yeah. That's facts.
I love this character. Not to mention that costume, which was mwah.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And I could
Dude,
tell that they had
costume.
to. I could tell that they had to make it. You know what I mean? Like cheesy in the moment. Because if they did that suit right, we would just be like, "Why isn't that the suit?
Exactly.
Like what is
Yeah.
this new stuff? Like, we'll just
So
give us give us the lace." Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of this.
Yeah.
Except the only I will talk about stuff we didn't like, I'm sure, but y'all keep
I
going.
cannot wait
Y'all
to
didn't
talk
like
about stuff.
things?
Dude,
That was only
there
one
was
thing I didn't
thing
like.
in
There's only
particular.
one thing.
I really
One
think
thing.
Ray and I might
No,
be
no,
on the same
no.
page
I think it
here.
might be the same thing. Yeah, but there's only one thing.
Yeah, we'll
I
get
guess
there.
I guess I do have one complaint. Yeah. Okay. So I'll fit in with you guys.
I have
Yeah.
one antagonist complaint, but
I thought I was gonna have to box all of y'all, but no, I got to complain of my own.
But Vash, I'm gonna toss it to you. Give me one or two of your favorite moments.
Chris said it perfectly. Is the way the conversation that they said bye, but also for the kids too, because I love how beautifully that she did it. Like she put them to sleep in a way, like knowing that they kind of know Wanda and Vision knew what was going to happen. But the best way to do it is not have them like die like in the park or anything like that, but it's just have them go to sleep in bed just to still imagining that type of scenario. And like that just hit me because they were saying bye to their imaginary kids in a way, but in the post credit that's a whole different scenario. But and then the conversation downstairs of what Chris said, like, oh, I want to turn on the light because it's for bad luck and everything. I'm like, damn, we're about to get to it. And like while that scene was happening, like I don't really cry except throughout the whole MCU. I've cried one time, and I texted the group chat like 3 years ago, and now that's what Spider-Man said. Hey Tony, I don't feel so good. I'm like,
no.
all right.
Broken.
Yeah, that's the one time I cried throughout the whole MCU.
That's so
and then
vicious,
this was the
bro.
second time I cried during the MCU is when
When they
that-
dusted my king and when I lost my Spider-Man. Yeah, bro.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
done.
yeah.
I was
that
done.
was there.
Dude, I was like physically ill after
Yeah.
walking out of Infinity War for the first
Ooh,
time.
Same, bro.
I was having PTSD there, but
We didn't say there was not a word spoken in that car on the way home.
that conversation between Vision and Wanda. It was beautiful. It was impactful because it made me emotional because the writing was amazing, but the acting, the way they just deliver it, it was well done. And props to Paul Bettany because that is my second of him talking to himself because he had to get the same emotion but also give it more code because he was White Vision. And just to know of how the conversation went and the way they get that reference and the way it was going throughout the conversation of who is the real Vision and what is Vision, it was just beautifully going back and forth. Like the way it was throughout this whole 23 films and plus there's one TV show because they don't count Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and plus other shows and everything. This show really
And I want to talk about that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too, because Ghost Rider and that other book they just brought up, but I'm gonna talk about that's one of my cons. But
Yeah.
that conversation between White Vision and Earth, it was so strong, and it was so I didn't expect it, to be honest. No offense to Marvel and plus MCU, I don't expect them to have these type of conversations. And when they
Right.
have it, and Paul brought it up, it just fitted so well. And I hope we get more of this writing within Loki and the other shows. Hopefully, like this is a great stretch mark for what they did, and I want more. I'm hungry for this type of conversation, type of topics in their shows, and I want more of that.
Dude, at the very end, when Vision is like, "We've said goodbye before, so it stands to reason," and then Wanda says, "We'll say hello again." I was like, "No,
why Vision left?
My heart,
of course." I'm like, "Yes,
my heart."
One thing that I want to add that I'm really appreciative for WandaVision for is that, like, okay, they chose the substance over flair approach, which is like this is the like story arc that you can kind of do that for, because you know Wanda and Vision are both kind of underdeveloped comparatively to the other, like, you know, core cast of the MCU. So we know that high octane action is coming inside of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We know that, you know, Disney Plus is going to have action out the yin yang in whatever they're going to be doing moving forward. So for the characters that haven't really gotten that character focus, you have this very character driven story arc, beautifully written on top of it, very poetic, and on top of that, it's establishing new, deeper, nuanced concepts inside of the MCU to make us excited for. I think it just did so many things that I wasn't expecting it to, and like it gave me everything that I didn't know I needed from the MCU. I'm like, what's missing really, besides like, you know, more homages to like canon storytelling? You know, it was basically it. But then now I see what they're doing inside of these character-driven plots, and I'm like, oh yeah, we totally need this. You know what I mean? And it just felt really good overall that they took this approach with WandaVision over, like, and there was some action in it. Like the end, the last episode and the episode before is cold-blooded for the action. So I'm glad that they fit, you know, like that in there. But by and large, I love that it was a, you know, very character-driven, you know, story in that regard. But
I do have to say the one thing that I found really funny. I texted Vash and James a couple days ago, and I was like, I just realized, you know, the MCU's major critique throughout this whole thing has been that their heroes are constantly fighting evil versions of themselves. And in the finale, we literally have Wanda fighting
a witch.
And Vision is literally fighting himself.
The mirror
a white version of himself.
Like, they'll never escape that criticism ever. It
but
works
this is
really
done
well here.
But this is done
it works
perfectly,
really well here.
And it's my favorite. Like, this wasn't feel like, you know, Iron Man fighting like somebody else that having his technology, Captain America fighting somebody else like the whole Winter Soldier and everything. But this was actually done well and executed in a good storyline. So to me, this was done very well.
I'll give it a pass.
Same. But James,
they cannot escape it.
I got two favorite moments. I actually have a few, but I'm only going to give two now, and then we're going to talk about the others a little bit later once we talk about more the story and the season overall. But one of my favorite moments from this episode was the reveal of the Darkhold. It was just like instantly in my mind, I was like, I've been thinking about this all wrong. Not Mephisto, not Nightmare, Chthon, bro. Chthon, bro. Chthon has been around since the Celestials.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Chthon has been around forever.
Yeah.
And this
That's
book,
the Eternals, bro.
Yeah.
So it's going to lead into the Eternals in some way. It's going to lead into Multiverse of Madness in some way, because he's a Doctor Strange villain. And then this book, Chthon is the god of chaos.
Yeah.
And Wanda is wielding chaos magic, bro.
Right.
Yep.
That could potentially bring Chthon into the MCU, bro.
Yeah.
So the moment I saw that, I had to pause the episode. I was like, holy shit, they just introduced Chthon, bro. Like, theoretically. They haven't said it definitively, but that's where that book comes from. Yeah. So I absolutely love that moment. My second favorite moment of the episode was the battle between Wanda and Agatha in the skies, where Wanda is just throwing everything she had. And I'm like, what the fuck is Wanda doing? Why is she throwing these blasts at the Hex?
She
and
did
then
the
you
anime
realize,
thing, bro.
Yeah, it was very anime, bro. It was very anime.
I'm distracting you. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm doing something in the back.
Dude, I love that Agatha even gave Wanda a look like, what the fuck are you aiming at?
Yeah, you're missing. What the fuck you doing?
Even
multiple
like slowed
times,
down
by the
the
way.
frame so
Multiple
she could be like,
times.
what?
Yeah.
But I always just say, oh, look, the rule is you taught me something. I'm just doing what you did to me. I was like, oh, you sneaky girl, you sneaky.
It just shows how fast of a learner she is,
Oh,
and how powerful she is, bro. And the costume,
and how powerful she's gonna be.
And how powerful
post-credit?
she is going to be. Yeah, we'll talk about the post-credit scene. I don't want to get there just yet, because I have a lot to say about that shit.
I want to speak on this Agatha and Wanda like final like fight in the sky scene that you brought up, JB, because like when I was thinking about this initially when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is weird, because if this is Agatha Harkness, we know that she's like thousands of years old, and she has all of this experience in witchcraft, and it felt so weird that
I mean,
like she just stepped into this trap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a couple things that I wanted to address, because I thought that was a criticism of mine, but then I thought about it, and it's like, this is just kind of the way you do this, you know what I mean? It's more high stakes when you realize that these are very high level magic users, and just like the smallest error decides it because of the high skill level. So like Agatha being distracted by the vision coming back, when I'm sure she probably thought you wouldn't see this like Vision family reunion and like coming together and like, you know, stancing up and like actually coming together as a family. Like Agatha looked down at that and was like, what, for like a second, and then Wanda pulled up, you know, like Undertaker and AJ Styles behind her. You know what I'm saying? She said, and I was like, whoa, you know, and I was like, that's fucking cool, dude, because like
that was sick.
That distraction made sense, you know what I mean? Because Agatha has like all of this strategy, all of this life experience. I don't know how old they're gonna make her in the MCU, but I know that she's at least 5K, 10K. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know exactly how old
she's a teen in the 1600s.
Yeah. So I think they mentioned she's 500 years old. I think so
Yeah.
far from what we know, she's 500 years old. From the cult, they never say how old is she.
Which is still like, it's fine, because I mean they literally just like, it was Salem witch trials when
that's
they,
a long life.
Nah, bro, I swear I read it. Okay, well whatever.
No, she's much older in the comics for sure, but still it's like, I think they just went like
the
Salem
show wise.
Within
did they
the
actually?
MCU.
Oh, so did they actually say it in the show?
Because from what I remember in
Yeah.
the comics, isn't she technically like the first witch? But like,
dude,
still,
she's like
she's like the first and last witch until Wanda. But yeah,
I don't know, man. But I just remember them like, man, she's old as fuck. I
She
remember
old as
them talking about. I swear to God, I remember them talking about.
Because she is. She
Yeah.
really is old as hell.
And was that the only one when she was watching from the top of the cliff? Like, was that the only one that felt like she was from the show? I mean, from the movie, from Disney of Halloween Town? Because I felt like this felt like a bit like Halloween Town.
Man.
Because like with her whole outfit and everything, I'm like, what
Yeah,
is
wow.
What's from Halloween Town?
This was the best version of Halloween Town. You're right.
That's what you're leading to.
Halloween Town and that.
This is the best
witches.
Halloween Town show.
This
Oh
is
my
like,
god.
This is Halloween Town mixed with Jujutsu Kaisen, because obviously
God,
Westy
it is.
was just Ryuiki Tenkai.
Oh my god.
It was a literal domain
I
expansion.
mean, that's all. That's what Wanda did. This is literally just domain expansion. That's all it was.
Yeah, that's what she did. Like, hey, you know, I'm gonna play with your mind. And then after that, she said, reverse Uno. I'm gonna do this to you, bitch. What you mean?
No, she did another domain inside of her. It's complicated.
Well, yeah, that's technically issue. She did 2 times domains. Yes.
So good.
So, I want to talk about how did you guys feel about this Agatha releasing the citizens and how the citizens treated Wanda? Like, Max, I want to start with
Bro,
you.
my heart sank. I feel like that was the biggest moment of stakes in the entire series, because it's just like, this is not something that you're going to very easily be able to deal with your magic. This is something you have to talk your way out of, or like psychologically handle. And we know that her mental state was like significantly compromised.
And she's
in that moment.
never been good at this.
Yeah, like all of the MCU camp just like went out the window in that scene, and I was just inundated with uncertainty. You know what I mean? I had no idea what was going to happen. And then when she chokes them out, you know what I'm saying, when they get a little bit too close and she starts choking them out, and I'm like, oh no, like I did not expect Marvel to like actually like delve into like this concept of like anti-heroism inside of like, Scarlet Witch and all.
But even she's panicking.
But that's what she's always. She's always been that way
in that scene. But then you have Agatha in the corner, like,
so
heroes don't torture people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh
like,
shit,
what you
you're
doing?
kind of spitting right now. How do you come back from this in the eye of the people? And I just
So
thought
what
that
attacked
was
me?
like so high stakes. Yeah.
But what?
There's no way
me,
she's coming back from it.
Right.
Yeah, because what attacked me, or like what kind of shocked me, is when Bird, I think that was his name, Bird, when he said, I do not even remember who I am no more because I've been here for so long. I was like, damn. Herb.
I mean, the one that hit me though was like, if you're not gonna let us go, just let us die, bro.
Dude,
that hit me so hard.
God.
I was like, ow.
Please just kill me if you're not gonna let me out of this
There
thing.
is so much pain that they would rather die.
Exactly. I was like,
Yeah, because they said like, we feel your sadness, we feel your despair, we understand how you're feeling.
And I kind of feel like that's kind of been like her unfortunate like experience with regular people in this universe. Last time she tried to use her powers for good, blew up a building full of diplomats. Like, oh no, you know, didn't recover from that. So that's why they don't trust her in the first place. Then this happens, and now you got this group of people who will go and tell their story like, hey, look, we may not be dead, but I was a prisoner for I don't know how long. You know, and it's like, what can you? How you can't spin that? Like, in no way you spin like, yeah, no, she didn't mean to. Like, literally, all she could say was sorry, and I'm like, that. I was like, that's it. That's all she can do is say sorry.
Yeah, Monica
did say that
of trauma, and that's it.
Yeah.
And Monica did say that at the end. She said that the people will know what you sacrificed. And one was like, yeah, but at the end it won't matter because I don't know how to explain to it. Like she said, like, I don't know how to talk to people.
They'll never know what you sacrificed. They'll never know. And I'm like, yeah, they won't, and she has to live with that. And so, but now she's gonna go and we'll talk about that. She's gonna go get the thing that she cares about. So hey,
so on the topic of Monica, I love what they're doing because they're perfectly blending Photon.
Hey, how did y'all feel about that
I was about
Wu?
that.
No, how did y'all feel about that Officer Wu mid-credit scene? That Monica was a little bit too separated. You know what I'm saying? It's like Monica.
Oh no! I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I didn't even catch it either.
Monica, Rambo, what's going on with you?
My
How
God.
you living, G?
Monica.
I was like, I don't know about this Monica, man.
Oh no!
Wow! Oh wow!
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
He said,
but,
"What
like,
happens
I
when you
had
get taller?" My knee. What? Anyway.
But how do you guys feel about how they're blending like all of Monica's like comic book powers and stuff into
I love
this
it.
So
one?
good.
I
When
love
she
it.
got shot and it just and it lost all of its momentum.
She absorbed all of the energy.
I was like, you're doing the thing. This
Well,
is
I was
great.
like,
Like,
look.
oh shit!
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
knew-
you got two of the most powerful female characters in all of Marvel standing right in front of each other, and we don't even really know it yet. Come on now.
But I also love how she interacted with the kids too, because she's like, oh, I missed a bullet, but then he stopped. That's what I think it was Billy, the one that stopped it, right?
Billy stopped it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nice
then she
trick.
Like, yeah, nice trick. He's like,
Here's
oh,
two.
you too. I was like, oh, that's like nice chemistry with the kid and everything. Like that was really
On the
dope.
topic of that, though, I mean, we've been talking for weeks how Hayward is just a huge dick. He fired on children.
Yes, he
without
did.
a second
Children,
thought.
bro.
No fucks given. He said, bam,
like-
bam, bam, bam.
These guys have powers, and I don't like that.
He was like, he's like, they ain't real no way. Bop, bop, bop.
And then he was going to
So
run
fucked up.
them over, bro.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Like I
Run
said,
them
no
over.
fucks given. He literally
Yo.
said, I don't care about them kids. They ain't real. Phew.
He's the worst, dude.
Watch them like somehow turn him into William Stryker equivalent, like once the X.
I could
You
see
know,
that. I could totally see that.
there is a chance.
That's possible. Yeah, that's possible.
I just hope they get a better actor.
Yeah, he sucks.
So,
He was the weakest actor of
Hayward's
the
my
entire
middle
thing,
name,
bro.
My last
thank you,
name
Ray.
is Stryker.
That was my con.
Oh shit, yo.
Ray,
man.
Ray just said it. That's my con of the of this episode and of the whole show itself. Like he's the weakest antagonist throughout the whole show.
He's the weakest actor, period.
That too, but like
Period.
as the antagonist of the show, he was weakest. Like
He's just a
not-
dick. I don't think he was
Yeah.
even supposed to be a villain. I think he was just supposed to be an asshole.
No, he's just an
Yeah.
asshole.
You
Yeah.
nailed that. He nailed
Did a
that.
great
big
job.
time.
Yeah.
He did. He
Give
did.
that man an Emmy for being the world's largest asshole.
And plus,
Yeah.
did y'all notice the camera shot and plus the Avenger score type of remix of when it was WandaVision and the two kids? When
You
they did
mean
the camera
you
shot
mean
and
the MCU's first family? Shut your mouth.
Bro.
yeah, that is true.
Bro,
MCU first
when they
family.
did that zoom in shot on the family, I almost lost it. It was such
Yeah.
a beautiful moment. man.
I looked
Yeah.
at my wife and I said, "Look, it's the MCU's first family."
that
No.
And that hurts me
First
as,
family?
as big of a Fantastic Four fan as I am. It hurts me to know that the MCU had to make the first family like Tom King's vision, essentially.
And so I can't wait for them to be like, "Oh, look, we're the first family" at the end of the Avengers, and then Wanda looks at them like, and then they just kind of cut the movie ends.
It's okay. 3/4 of them aren't real. So
Yeah.
Fantastic Four will still be the first
that
family.
is
will
true.
live here in my
But that
memories. That
milestone,
makes them real.
milestone is still like there though, like immortalized
it is.
forever. You know what I mean? Like
It
that
really
that
was.
moment was supposed to be the Richards family.
And I did love it because it was like, you know, I really did get Fantastic Four and Incredible vibes, like Incredibles vibes from
Yeah.
that shot.
Yes, I
Straight
did.
up.
Definitely.
Yes, I did.
Definitely.
I was like,
Yeah, okay.
I like it.
So before we go into negatives and then moving on to the mid and post credit scenes, I want to talk about the reveal of Evan Peters' character.
Ralph Boner.
So, I
Ralph
liked it.
Boner.
This is
I
my
liked it,
con
and
of
I
this episode.
hated it at the exact same time.
This
Because what
is
it does,
my least favorite
what
part.
it does is, it pretty much tells us that the multiverse exists, right?
Right.
That's how I took it.
Sure.
This version, that's who he is in this Earth, and on another Earth, he's Quicksilver on that Earth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. That's cool because we're finally getting into more multiverse stuff. But really, he's just some guy named Ralph Boner.
Ralph
Really?
Boner.
I think that's our first
Boner.
boner joke in the MCU.
Yeah, like,
true.
I think the most deliberate one.
Yes, because he even laughed about it, like, oh yeah, Ralph Boner.
Dude,
I'm
I
like,
love the
wait.
fact. I love that he laughed at his last name as
Yeah.
he's possessed. So like
Yes.
he's really not Ralph in the head, but like when she says his last name, he's like, ha, boner.
So I'm like, okay, if Agatha she enchanted an item that gave a man super speed.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like I don't
Yeah.
think he has those abilities normally.
So I'm like,
No, he
did she
definitely
just
That's
did she
definitely
just
what that
enhance
scene was all about. Yeah.
a gene that he already had?
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Potentially.
Are you
Doppelganger?
stretching? Are you stretching your arms
Doppelganger?
out because of how large of a stretch that is?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention my actual favorite part of this whole movie was when Jimmy took off the handcuffs and said "flourish." I almost
Oh,
cried.
so good! What a great callback.
It was the perfect callback. I
He
was
was
like,
watching
"You son of-" I
WandaVision.
was like, "You son of a bitch!" That was really good.
Yeah.
and then he said like, hey, can you be here in 1 hour? Because I just lied to people saying that you will be here in 1 hour. So can you be here in 1 hour exactly? Because I need you here. He's so
good.
funny. He's such a good cast member. And plus, what's the girl name? What's the girl named Daisy? The one
Darcy?
that Darcy, the one
Darcy,
that literally put the
Catherine.
car over to
Oh,
Hayward.
yeah, yeah.
Technically,
She
my
said-
favorite character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She
I love
literally
me
just
some
put the
Darcy.
whole car over to Hayward. Like, hey, I'm gonna just drive you over.
Have
She
fun in
told you he
jail.
was a dick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude, I love her too. Loved her in like 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like,
And
pretty
plus-
sure she's in Scott Pilgrim too.
I don't think I've disliked her in anything she's been.
Yeah,
in.
she's so,
She's
good.
so funny.
good.
So
She's a
funny.
good actress.
hilarious. Yeah.
And plus, I hope she's back in the future in some way,
Yes.
some shape or form.
Oh, there's no way
because
they're gonna drop Darcy.
No,
Yeah, because-
never. Can't do that. That's a
yeah,
big
because
fumble.
Darcy
Yeah.
escaped. She said, "I hate debriefs." And like,
No, she said
okay.
debriefs are for the week, and she did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and like that was
She
perfect
gonna
for her.
She's going to hang out with her boy Thor. It's all good.
Oh yeah, Fat Thor. You know, with the whole fake.
He's buff again.
Yeah, he's not going to be fat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
So let's get into the negatives. Like Ray, you already alluded to that this was kind of your negative. So give me more of your thoughts on that.
I mean, it was just so. It was like, oh, okay, we're gonna build this up. We're gonna play to your emotions, literally, give you some fan service with Pietro, and then it's like, nah, sorry, J.K. His name's Ralph Boner. And I was like, I laughed at first, and I was like, oh, y'all really was playing with my emotions.
Yeah.
That's not okay, bro. But thanks. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna let it slide because you gave me Monica, and that's okay. But I was like, come on, bro. You get like I was legitimately excited to see Pietro, like legitimately.
same.
So that's cool, I think. But yeah, that was like my least favorite part. It's not like it was bad. It's just that's my least favorite part, straight up. I was
I
like,
feel like that'll be like a lot of people's least favorite part
Yeah.
if I'm keeping
I was
it.
like,
Yeah.
come on, I'm like, you give me fan service and then say, actually, give me back my chain. Psych.
the T.I. gets.
Seriously, give me that back. So yeah, that is what it is for me. I was like, ugh.
Like what I had in my mind was just so much more interesting to me, and I guess that's why I'm so let down. Like I didn't need it to be Pietro from another universe. It's just that okay, Agatha couldn't get Pietro's actual body, so she looked into the multiverse, saw a different version of Pietro, and just created that version. That's
Right.
what I thought the whole
Maybe
time.
that's what she still did.
I think that
technically.
makes. I think that feels the best to me right
Yeah.
now. Actually, now that you
I
kind of laid
mean,
it out like
I
that.
agree with you guys, but I don't think that's actually what happened
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
universe. But
It sucks.
what I think happened here, because like I think all of our feelings are justified. That we all feel a little betrayed. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but like that's the vibe
I'm a
that I'm
little
getting,
miffed.
right? Right, exactly. Because I mean, we've been theorizing about the multiverse for weeks because of Evan Peters appearing in the show. But this is what I think happened behind the scenes, because this isn't the only moment in the marketing for the show where I think Marvel made an oopsie. You know, like Paul Bettany, like we talked about earlier, saying that he's excited to work with someone that he's never worked with before and he's wanted to work with since he was a child. It's fucking him. He's excited to work with himself. But I think in that moment, Paul Bettany thought he was being coy and funny, and then he just didn't realize how much the fans were going to latch on to that soundbite, you know?
Yeah.
And then after the fact, he's like, "Oh shit, I made a terrible mistake." But I think that's the same thing with like Matt Shackman and Jack Schaefer, right?
Yeah.
Putting Evan Peters in the show. I think they're like, this is going to be a really fun Easter egg. Like, people know that Evan Peters was Quicksilver in the Fox universe. I don't even know if they thought that everybody watching the show was going to be like, this means the multiverse.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I really, from their side of things, I think they just thought it was going to be a fun Easter egg. And then here we go as fans speculating for weeks on end, building this up to be something really dope. And they're like, this is going to be hilarious. There's going to be a stupid boner joke at the end of the finale with Evan Peters. And then we get to that point, and as fans, we're just like, are you making fun of us?
Yeah, like that's kind of that's kind of a huge miss if he's not actually like woven into because okay, so like look at like everything we know about like the new Spider-Man movie and like, you know, Netflix and Fox characters coming back for that. So and then you're just gonna not have Evan Peters do the same thing after you put him in the show and everyone goes, oh my God, this is a great idea. I want this now. And then you just never mind. But we're going to do it over here with other Fox and Netflix characters.
It just seems like a miscalculation.
Yeah,
you know, like they didn't have the foresight to see how people were going to
watch. Well, just because of that, that point, I think that he is going to be a multiversal
so that's
character.
What I'm saying.
And that it is going to work out. I refuse to believe they're that dumb. You know what I mean?
I think it was a temperature check. It's like, are people still actually excited about this character? And then they kind of, you know, did the research and have the stats like, actually, no, they really did like this. You know, there was way more, you know, engagement online after that happened, you know, but who knows? Yeah.
I think in the future movies or show, it's going to be retcon. Like, hey, he is part of the whole multiverse and like that. Because from what you guys said, like, what we know about this wartime Pietro, he shot with 3-6 bullets in the body already. He dead for some reason. Yeah. Oh, over there in Europe, in some ground. I got to say that, like, oh, I couldn't get him because he shot dead and everything. So I got this guy. So, but from what we know, he's just Ralph Boner. Hopefully, with what James in this whole panel said, hopefully we find him as an actual character from the show that is from the Fox universe, and hopefully that he's an actual character and this was just a lie. Because from what we know in the Fox universe, that Pietro has a man's cave in the basement. This one has a man's cave in some type of attic and everything.
In an attic,
so they made small references to the Fox character of what his speed and everything, and his character and his persona. But then finding out that this is just a Ralph Boner type of person, just play with his mind. Like this was a letdown. This could have been used better as a storyline in the future. But hopefully they do retcon that, like what Ray said, like, hey, we searched some Google, we searched a Twitter thread, we searched a Reddit. We actually need or should change this. Hey, Kevin Feige, let's change up the storyline and everything. Hopefully they do retcon that because that would be more interesting for the actual character of Magneto whenever he joins Wanda herself and everything with the characters in the future.
Yeah, dude, looking
if
at
it even
Ralph
has
Boner,
to be a
though,
retcon, and they could have a plan the entire time. And
they could actually.
Yeah, we might be. We're just not privy to what their plan is.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too good right now.
If they want to tell me though, my DMs are open, bro. Just Feige, slide on in them, man. I'm here.
Looking at Ralph Boner through the lens of just WandaVision, though, like what they actually gave us. You can't say that
sentence with a straight face. Don't.
I'm gonna say it as many times as I possibly can. But looking at his character just through the lens of WandaVision, like what they actually gave us instead of like what we wanted or what our expectations were, I found his character very funny. He's like he's a fucking caricature, bro. Like when he has Monica trapped in his man cave, and he's like, "This is where I come to chillax, where the missus is stirring up trouble." Like every word out of his mouth just makes me crack up because it's so fucking ridiculous.
He's a great
especially
actor.
When he's like, what did he say? Oh my gosh, he's like, "Are you a fan of what's the actor's name? Steven Seagal? Are you a fan of Steven Seagal?"
Yeah,
he said it with such a straight face. He was so earnest about it. He's like, I want to watch some Steven Seagal movies with you. I was cracking up, like to the point where I almost couldn't be mad because it was so ridiculous. But after the episode, I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, because in the chat they asked like how, like for us that we had a lot of theories about Nightmare and about Mephisto and like a lot about other cameos about characters that would appear or not appear on Doctor Strange and everything. One of the chat said like, how do you guys feel about some of your theories not coming to true? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
That's the fun of this.
Thank you.
That's
I have no problem being wrong.
That's leak culture, man.
See,
like
okay.
nothing, not
I'm
all
perfectly
things are
fine
going to
being
come to
wrong.
fruition.
Like I'm not in this to be right. I'm in this to be surprised.
Right.
Same
And in
here.
my opinion, as far as like theory crafting goes, I think that like the value of a theory lies in like how good it feels at the time. Because like when you, not its accuracy, because like its accuracy, sure, if it's right, you could be like, okay, well, you got it right, and that's really fucking cool. But then like if you just throw a mind-blowing theory out there that makes sense in the narrative and then it's just like never confirmed or like debunked or something like that, but you had the whole block talking about it for like a week, 2 weeks, you know, however long until it was officially confirmed. Like that's a cold-blooded
That's right. Yes.
That's a cold-blooded theory to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got the whole block jumping, you know, over an idea, that's what it's all about. Like more so than the accuracy. Like if you got it right though, like you're still cold-blooded, but like, you know, it's all about the reaction.
Because what you just said, it's about having fun with the folks that love this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this is supposed to be fun. Like that's what it is. Like
it's about the journey.
Seriously, and the memories that you make along the way. But like no, like I never care about being right. I'm like I'm not writing it literally. So I'm like I'm just here to enjoy the thing that they're creating for us that I never thought we would get. So here we are. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a testament to how good the writing is, you know what I mean? That we were able to come up with all of these theories, because for a long time, like, it was just like, I think it's Mephisto, I think it's Nightmare, because it's like you have all of these people stuck in dreams. What does Nightmare do? He feeds off of people's dreams, like, he's from the dream dimension, so it's like, that makes sense. Yeah. Mephisto, it's like he's all about Wanda's kids because, you know, they're his soul fragments. So it's like there's so many different ways it could have gone.
Dude, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. I love Agatha Harkness's character because she was there when the kids were born, and like I'm pretty sure she's involved in like a plot line where like the Scarlet Witch has kids in the comic books, and she's like. I remember. I never read that story, but like I've talked about that in like group chats, and I thought that was really fucking cool.
I think that's West Coast Avengers, but basically she's the one that has to break the news to Wanda that her kids aren't real. And that causes Wanda's like eventual mental breakdown. But the one thing I guess I keep forgetting, like I almost forgot, they kept Agnes. They kept her. They keep her. She's still here.
I'm glad they didn't kill her off because they always be killing people. Like, no,
exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like, them. She's alive. She survived.
Well, she is to survive as a nosy neighbor.
But no, she survived. So like somebody else could be like, oh yeah, they just left Agatha Harkness. They come pluck her. I need her. Bloop, you know, take her and do something else.
That's perfect because that's the way it is in the comics. You know, she can be a mentor or an antagonist.
And she's definitely gonna be in the future because she said to Wanda, "You don't know what you have unleashed. It will be coming for you." And I'm like, I want to know. Let's go. Let's get there.
Dormammu, I've come to bark.
And I'm really excited to see like the future of Agatha's character because she kind of like we know that Agatha kind of like trains her in dark or in chaos magic in the comic books, and like in the show she obviously teaches her about runes. But I'm sitting here going like, is this the extent of like the training that we know that she receives from Agatha Harkness, and then you just kill her character off because it's the MCU and you kill the villain at the end of the story arc? You know what I mean? Like, or you know, obviously we know that Agatha's going to come back.
I foresee she tries to learn everything she can on her own, and she's like, I can't figure this out. Who can I go get? And,
right.
You know, she goes back. She's like, I knew you'd be back. Blah blah blah.
Exactly. That's exactly how I'm picturing it going. Beautiful. You finished.
Theory crafting. Here we go.
Hey. But I mean, like that makes sense.
It begins again.
That's one of those ones that's not like mind blowing, but like sounds like it makes sense, and someone just thought of it before everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, like that feels like that has to be the way it goes. Whereas like other like wild like abstract theories, you know, those are the kind of.
You guys realize that we have a year of this because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness doesn't come out until 2022. So for the next year, we're going to be crafting ridiculous theories that are never going to come to fruition.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to get breadcrans for a lot of them though on the way though.
With the Spider-Man movie and definitely.
Yeah.
Was gonna say that Wanda already has an idea of how to control her chaos magic because the whole hex is gone, but Agnes is the noisy neighbor without no hex. So she already has an idea of how to control her magic, even wherever she is in the mountains and everything. So that's already wild to believe, to know that she already knows how to control one person and just have them as one character without no type of hex.
I mean, she literally got a power up. She rogued her. She basically stole most of her magic from her. So I'm like, that just gave her like a buff.
Which is another callback to the comics because Wanda had to get a boost from she had to get some kind of like energy boost from somebody.
Who was that?
Yeah, I
Vertigo.
can't
It
remember
was Vertigo.
specifically.
These are old
It was
comics, y'all.
Vertigo.
These are
Yeah,
old
yeah.
comics.
It was Vertigo.
Okay.
She had to absorb, like, it wasn't Agatha. Agatha was there. This is all John Byrne West Coast Avengers, by the way.
Yeah.
So like 91. I don't know, 80 to like somewhere between 85 and 91.
Something like that.
Like
yeah.
But
late
like,
80s.
I mean, either way, you just do John Byrne West Coast Avengers and it's right there. But like, this is all inside of that. And yeah, she has to like, this is so many amazing homages, and like you can't even think of all of them. At least I can't. But that's why these conversations are so important, because we're all like, try hard comic book nerds. So it's like if I don't remember something, you know what I'm saying? Chris is gonna remember something.
85 to 94.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like 1984.
Oh, cold-blooded! Did I really just do the whole scope?
You did it.
Yeah, boy.
I'm cold.
That boy's fast as fuck.
John Byrne is one of my favorite writers, though. So it's like I've read everything that he writes. So it's like, yeah.
Dude, one of the reasons I'm not mad about this finale is because even though we didn't get these theories correct, all the Easter eggs that we spotted along the way are still legitimate Easter eggs. They just didn't go anywhere narratively, So
Yeah.
no harm, no foul.
John, to answer your question, I do think that the MCU is Earth 616 for sure. Like 100%, I think.
Didn't they say it was 616 in Spider-Man Far From Home?
But I think bro wasn't bro bluffing though,
He was,
wasn't
yeah.
he talking crazy?
He was
bluffing, but
because if we're keeping it a stack,
he's bluffing, but
MCU,
he's telling some type of truth though.
yeah.
So that movie has so many
where did
lies.
he get his information? Where
Far
did he
From
get his
Home
information?
has a shit ton of lies.
Yeah,
in it.
I
It's
knew
all
that Far From
misdirection.
Home was lying
It's
about a
all
bunch of shit.
misdirection.
Because if you
And
really
I'm like,
think about it as far as like a universes inside of comic book continuity situation goes, you want to say, for a couple of reasons. One being that they've like actually kind of confirmed this in interviews, is that the MCU is kind of taking after the 1610 or Ultimate Universe that Mark Miller and Bendis started in like 2000. Right. So you want to say, oh yeah, it's just a modern retelling of these stories like in 1610, but it's also like Earth 98, because Earth 98 is the universe where time passes regularly and we're not on this sliding time scale, you know what I mean, that we use in the comic book. So it's really a combination of like 1610 and 98, you know what I mean, is the MCU. Is what it feels like to me. Anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a good point, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like, is what Nox and Ray was saying, like, of what it happened in Far From Home, some is believable, but some could be also true and some could be fake, because we don't have no confirmation. It's what we need to wait for the next couple of films to actually confirm what universe are we in and which Earth is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling that like even like Nox was saying, if we are combining multiple universes, I still feel like Kevin Feige
wants
is going to make
616.
this. Yeah, it's gonna be Marvel Prime. Basically.
Yeah, there we go.
Like,
ooh,
like
yes,
this is the Prime universe.
Ooh. Yes, I love
so
that.
whether they call it 616 or not, like this is the Prime universe. Like, why wouldn't he do that? It's his baby.
Yeah, especially if they're going to bring in other universes inside of this MCU multiverse. It makes sense that we could be seeing other homages to other, historical comic book universes inside of the MCU. Man, so this could totally be 616, and then we get 1610 in the MCU. We get 98 in the MCU, even though, whatever. But like, that's what I'm, what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Ant-Man. I feel like Ant-Man's gonna bust all that wide open.
In Quantum Mania.
Yep,
Quantum Mania is going to be wild.
Like Microverse, the whole movie.
You're going to be like, oh, it's clearly this is going to happen in the Doctor Strange movie. Nope. Yeah. Ant-Man.
Oh, but Loki. No. It was Loki as well, because that's going to be two also different universes. Because he's going to be fighting a version of Loki.
Well, it's not a different universe. It's just a different timeline.
Yeah. Because he's time traveling.
Yeah, but
that's why he's in the time. That's why he's on trial with the time console.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, but
the time variance agency.
Yeah, but I heard that he's gonna be fighting girl version of Loki. So isn't that also time traveling in a different universe as well?
No, there's multiple versions in this timeline now. Remember?
Yeah.
With the way time travel works, there are now 2 Lokis in this timeline.
But yeah, but they're using branch. They're using branch universe theory.
That's true. So they just made a new one. Yeah.
Didn't they confirm that in like Endgame?
I think they did.
Yeah.
It's
branch.
They confirmed that in the movie.
Branch
universes. It's a whole loop out of that.
It's all connected.
Right.
Yeah. So
but I think they're doing it differently. I think Branch in MCU is like different than Branch in the. Okay, you guys.
Which is fine to me.
You guys might be able to help me out with this, because like as far as we understand in the comic books, like, whenever there's any kind of like event that has to happen, and then you change that by going back in time, like Age of Ultron, Days of Future Past, instead of like, that still having happened in history. Instead, it's like it never happened in your main continuity, and then that branch breaks off that contains the universe of
time. Is like in the comics, time is like a closed circle. So like it's kind of like Back to the Future logic, where if you do something in the past, it changes the future. Right. But in the MCU, it's different. Yes. At least in terms of the Infinity Stones, based on what M.A.N.G.A said.
So the way I can explain it is like it stretches. It's like every time they do it, they stretch it.
Like Days of Future Past, for example,
it's kind of like a rubber band.
Was the guaranteed future state of Earth 616 when it was written, right?
Yes.
Like that was what was going to happen eventually.
Right.
Then they go back in time, they fix the thing. Now that's just not the guaranteed future of Earth 616 anymore.
It's erased.
Now the Days of Future Past is its own universe because it branched from the timeline to create its own universe where that conflict is constantly going in a cyclical loop of conflict.
Like that's how it's going to end regardless. Every time in that place.
Yep. Right, exactly.
Which makes the Loki series so interesting because everything that happened after the events of the first Avengers movie doesn't exist. We're starting off with Loki from that point going on. So there could be a different version of Thor, Odin, everything. Like you can do
Dude,
whatever
he's gonna
you
fuck
want
things
from
up
that
so
point.
much.
So much. And Doctor Strange just gonna be like, I gotta clean up all this shit.
Yeah, right? But let's get into the mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene. Like,
real quick, I had to throw my con out real quick because I don't think I throw my con out. And it's not even like that big of a deal. But the only negative thing, and it's just because I thought about it while we were talking, I didn't want to be the only one without a con. But I wasn't the biggest fan of Agatha's post-reveal acting.
That's fair. That's
her
fair.
Acting, because her acting pre-reveal was amazing because she does so well in those 50s, 60s, 70s, 90s archetype roles.
And then it turned into
There's some moments where she's a little bit
she's just like cringy Cruella DeVille.
Then she turned into Halloween Town.
That's why
I loved it.
Halloween Town.
It's so witchy, and her cackle's so good.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I can see how it's like a little over the top.
It's just dated. It just felt dated. Yeah,
it felt Halloween type of vibe. That's why I said that's why I mentioned her, she's a good actor for what she did, but it felt like Halloween Town type of vibe because it felt like though she like, ooh, come here, give me your magic and everything, like attack me, I want your magic, let me absorb you. I'm like, I guess I will take it. It's comic book.
I like how she could turn on a dime.
Yeah, absolutely. That's impressive for sure.
Oh yeah,
but the execution just felt a little bit dated and cheesy.
Yeah, if this was some type of Oscar film, then I'd be like, okay, this is the no-go. But this is comic booky. I'm like, okay.
I still think this is gonna win hella awards.
She is
Mad motherfuckers are winning awards for this. The whole core cast is winning awards for this.
Oh yeah.
They better.
Oh yeah. Like Emmy noms for everyone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this was beautiful acting and everything for Wanda. And plus the hairstylists and everything, the costume designs for this show, spectacular.
Definitely.
I love the Wicked Witch of the West vibes too. Like when Wanda throws the car out, all you can see are the boots.
That Easter egg was amazing.
That's a nice reference. It took me a couple minutes to realize that. I was like, does this feel like a Wizard of Oz type of reference?
Yes,
but then
I love it, man.
Put together.
Yes.
Did you guys notice when she went speed up and did the thing to her? It kind of also the same thing to Iron Man back in Age of Ultron as well.
Age of Ultron.
Like exactly
I love
the
that,
same.
bro.
Yeah, the same thing.
That's her MO. That's her thing. Yeah.
Just because the speed up here.
I mean, I loved it because it was this is the first thing I learned how to do with my powers, essentially. So here we go. I love that.
And we also haven't seen her do that since Age of Ultron.
Exactly.
So it was an excellent callback.
I love that.
Yeah. Did everyone else give their negatives?
Ralph Boner, bro. Ralph Boner all the way. What's my Ralph Boner count at right now?
Probably 8 or 10 by now. But for me, it was just a Hayward thing. He was just a bad antagonist for me. It was just very cliche, government official. Hey, he lied saying that, I hate overpowered heroes, but that he wants to take a white vision type of guy and everything. To me, he just felt very lackluster as an antagonist. That's all.
Chief, I do not think they're gonna snub WandaVision. I think they're gonna eat up the Emmys, bro. Because I mean,
bro,
look at Mando.
Damage.
Mando got a lot lot of nominations. I think they will definitely shed out.
My default is to be the awards always snub superhero content, but Mando did win.
Buzz.
Yeah. If we're looking at Mando, I definitely think it's a possibility.
and think about the format that they chose on purpose. It was more like a sitcom than it was a superhero show. It's just a sitcom that happened to be a superhero show.
Right.
So, but
that'd be great. I'd be stoked for it.
Mando. thanks for bringing that up because I missed that already.
Man,
Knox,
yeah, I'm ready to rewatch it already.
Same.
But yeah,
Knox,
let's
have you
get
seen
into
Mando?
the.
What?
I'm saying, Knox, have you seen Mandalorian?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you
I know it's
should.
really, I know it's really good. I know it's really good.
Bro.
Oh, you
Oh,
should. So
Hey, man.
good.
Hey man, say man.
It is the best Star Wars.
I don't be watching too much nowadays.
All
but
I'm
WandaVision-
saying is the kid will
Yeah.
really love Mandalorian.
Right. Like
Yes.
if everyone screams at me to like watch or like read something, then I'm just like, okay, so, okay, don't hurt
I'm
me.
verified.
You know what I mean? I'll do
I
me,
have
you know
more
what I
clout
mean?
than
But,
most
like,
people. You need to watch Mandalorian. Okay? I'm playing the card.
I got
Watch
you.
Mandalorian.
That's a good play. And you want to know what? It worked. I will
Thank you.
watch it.
No bullshit, right? Out of the 16 episodes, 15 are absolute fire.
Oh yeah.
And season 2 is way better than season 1.
The score
That's
is
Absolutely.
amazing.
all I've heard. That's
Absolutely.
all I've heard from everybody that tells me.
The
Yeah.
score is amazing. The acting is amazing. It's just and plus the action and like each episode fits perfectly. 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's just proves to know how they know how to tell a story and condense it and write it and show it and shoot it. It just shows how well they put the love in the series. Much better than the films. But it just does a fantastic job with the show of these 2 seasons. I can't wait to show what to do with Ahsoka and the others, but that's a whole different conversation. But hopefully, Knox, when you do watch it and when you come back, you can talk about it because I can't wait to hear your thoughts about Mando.
You know, I can't wait for that Cara Dune spin-off. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind.
We can do a Vash. You know, if you guys are down, we can do a watch party for Mandalorian in like my Discord or something if you want.
Hell yeah, bro.
I have no problem to watch it again. I have no problem.
Say
to watch
less.
It again.
Yeah, I'd be super down for that. I feel like my Discord would fuck with that too.
Hell
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot
let's
of
do it.
low key Star Wars fans in there.
Star Wars fans, and they're just watching it and just seeing stuff that of how they foreshadow stuff about the Old Republic and everything again. No problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but let's get into the mid-credit scenes. I really want to talk about these. So the first mid-credit scene, we have Monica speaking to this Skrull, right? That knows an old friend of her mom's, and I love that Nick Fury reference. I love that we get the reference that Monica Rambeau is going to space, bro. Monica Rambeau is going to meet Nick Fury. She's going to be. Okay? So question. Do you think that she's going to become the new director, or do you think Fury will become the new director of S.W.O.R.D.?
I think it would be Monica, wouldn't it?
Monica. Yeah.
I want it to be Monica.
She was like, she was in
Monica
line
makes
to be the director of S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah, she
to
was
begin
in
with.
line, and I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, oh well, we don't have Captain Marvel because she's off gallivanting in the universe, you know.
Right.
Not, you know, we don't. She doesn't belong to us anyway. But you want to be here and want.
Monica's the better Captain America anyway. So
she's the best Captain Marvel, straight up. I'm not.
Or did I say Captain America or Marvel?
I mean, say
I know what you meant.
You said
America.
We knew what you meant. It's okay. We knew what you meant either way.
James,
she's absolutely
kick
the best
Knox out
Captain
of
Marvel.
the Zoom call.
Don't do it, not yet. No, let me redeem myself, bro.
So no, I feel like this actually works out great.
Well, no, I had an idea for S.W.O.R.D. I thought, I mean, in the after credit scenes, everyone was talking about how there was going to be this crazy cameo and
Doctor Strange,
like, all of this
Mephisto.
stuff. I was thinking like,
Did,
right,
was
like
it, did we really think there was going to be some kind of crazy cameo?
I mean, that's just what I heard. They said that there's going to be like a, I don't know.
I was
something
thinking
crazy.
Strange.
Me
Yeah,
too.
Me
I
too.
think-
Like
I
the
think-
most I was thinking was Strange as well. Like,
Right, and that was the biggest idea that I had heard when they said that the cameo at the end of this was going to be drastic. Everyone was like, "Well, that means it's going to be Doctor Strange." I was like, "Bro, I think this is a great opportunity to introduce Reed Richards."
I thought that like there was 2 episodes back where they were like teasing somebody, and I was like, if somebody doesn't show up now, nobody's showing up.
Yeah.
it was where my mind went.
See,
But
the
like,
reason
so many
why.
people.
Yeah,
The reason why I still thought that Doctor Strange was going to show up is because of the Darkhold. Like, it is the Sorcerer Supreme's responsibility to lock that book away forever.
Right.
I love the way that it turned out now, because now we can spread this out. And who knows, like, Wanda could be like a minor villain of Multiverse of Madness until we get to the actual villain. So I'm okay with that. But I thought Doctor Strange because it's his job to get that book.
Yeah. Look, I know we're not talking about the second post-credits scene yet, but I'm going to say we did get a Doctor Strange cameo.
Sure.
Because we heard his theme playing over Wanda in the last moments of the episode.
Yeah.
So
that one that was playing when he was all like, like
Yeah,
looking at looking in the future or whatever. Yeah.
And,
as she's scrolling through the Darkhold, you can
As
hear
she's like,
Doctor
she's in the
Strange's
same
theme.
Yeah, she's got her legs, you know, like crossed, like floating. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt very Doctor Strange. Yeah.
I just remember the actual con I had about the actual episode when we get the name of the book drop, Darkhold. And for those Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans that actually watched the show, for those that know about the Darkhold in that show, it was connected with Ghost Rider. So when I heard the Darkhold name, and then when Agatha said, "Oh, you are the Scarlet Witch, you are stronger than the whole Sorcerer Supreme and everything." And when we left Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he went inside the Darkhold and everything. He went inside the hotel dimension.
Doesn't that make sense though?
But the MCU says that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not connected no more at all. Like, what happened with that?
Well,
So,
well, in Kevin Feige's last interview, he said that he's open to all of that stuff. Like, he did say, I can't remember verbatim, but he did pretty much reference that all of those characters are on the table. So the Netflix
The only one he didn't
characters-
reference is Iron Fist. Thank God.
They need to recast
in the
that
interview, the
motherfucker.
quote was like, "People love Daredevil, Jessica Jones,
Ghost Rider.
Luke
Cage.
Cage. That's it. Can't think of nobody
Because
else.
in Iron Fist, they're like, hey, let's hire, this guy from Game of Thrones that has no martial arts background and just see what happens. We could train
And he
him
didn't
up.
have
We
time.
want
He
this
didn't
show
have
was
time to
rushed.
train.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just hire an Asian American to play this role. That'd be fine. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel,
Yeah, let's
I
do
felt
that.
so bad for him.
Let's
Like,
go
he
do
did
that.
his best. So, like,
So
he
dumb.
did his
Yeah.
best in that role. I felt so bad. But
Yeah,
that
it's not his fault. Like, he got cast, and they started shooting like
Yeah,
maybe
a
a
month
month.
after.
No.
Yeah.
If I
after.
was Buddy, I would have looked at that script and I would have been like, I don't know martial arts. What are you doing?
Are you
don't
sure
know
you
Kung
want
Fu.
me?"
I don't-
Give this
I don't
to
know
a
Kung
blonde
Fu.
dude that knows fucking martial arts. What?
like, why
I've been
choose
walking
me?
around Westeros for 2 seasons.
Yeah,
I literally.
I didn't even
know
fight
zero
him. I just
martial arts.
died.
I
just
couldn't
stood there
find my
and died.
parents there either. So yeah, it's crazy.
But
Oh,
thing is,
man.
to add to what I was saying about Ghost Rider thing, and to know with this post credit, like, oh, it's talking to somebody up there with the whole Nick Fury and everything, like, alright, cool. I was hoping to maybe like some type of Ghost Rider type of reference, like, oh, because he was good at the role. I forgot the actor, but it was not Johnny Cage. It was the one after Johnny Cage, the one that has the car. Who remembers the one?
God, what is that Ghost Rider's name? I can't believe I'm blanking on it right now.
The one that has the car. Does anybody remember the?
Yeah, I totally spaced on his name as well.
Me
Yeah,
too. So
I'm gonna look it up right now.
All right, so what are you talking about?
Perfect.
Like, I was hoping.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
That's true. But I forgot. I was very disappointed because I was hoping, like, okay, you brought up the name of Darkhold and everything, and you could connect with Wanda, with Doctor Strange and everything, and like Ghost Rider.
Robbie Reyes.
Robbie Reyes, thank you. So Robbie Reyes would be nice to connect to him because this would be a nice connection with Doctor Strange and with this whole type of multiverse of
And
madness.
dude, it could still be connected because remember
Hopefully
the
in the future, yeah.
Darkhold has changed the way it looks over time,
Yeah.
and also
That is
depending
true.
on who's using it. So it could still be the exact same book. Now, the Darkhold also showed up on the Runaways show, and I don't think the Runaways is connected to this in any way. That's where it gets a little bit confusing, but
I forgot that existed. Yep.
yeah.
Dude, I think this
Completely
is.
forgot that existed. Thanks
What?
for reminding me.
I think
Runaways.
Kevin Feige.
Oh yeah.
I
Not
think
the
he's
comic
just
book,
being
the show.
nice in those
The show.
interviews,
Yeah, yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
show was so good. The first season, I never finished the second season, but the first season was amazing. Great acting for just kids.
It was okay.
Entertaining. It was entertaining. That's what I was saying.
it wasn't for me.
It was okay.
But I'm very excited to see that interaction between Monica and Carol again because she's been busy in space, right? Like it's not like she just neglected her friend, right? Like she's been in space helping a bunch of different civilizations, but
I
Monica
don't think
don't know
Monica views it that way. Though.
Monica don't know that.
she still should have showed up when her mom got cancer. Like, why did you never show up at any point to visit
There's no
any of us?
self-service in space. How's she gonna know that she did?
I mean,
she literally
dude,
works
she
with Nick
flew-
Fury, who knows
Come on, man.
everything.
She
Come on,
flew to Earth to bring Tony Stark back to Earth and never visited them.
Yep.
Again, that is true.
So you got to think about that, right? So it's like, I can't wait for that interaction, especially now that she's Photon. I need them to throw some fists, bro. That's going to be dope.
Look, I can't wait for because we know this Carol is cocky. She's cocky as shit. This one is.
Yeah.
She go boot up and then Spectrum gonna be like, "Excuse me, I am energy."
And speed and power.
Literally,
I'm
I am
all of these
energy.
things.
Okay,
I'm
you can use it, but I am
So,
it.
so question though. So what gave her the power? Was it the hex of Wanda Chaos magic, or was it the Mind Stone within the hex magic?
All of it.
And I think it was probably just
Well,
like a
it's
combination.
it's the Big Bang radiation energy from the hex,
Okay.
and the fact that she went through it 3 times that completely changed her DNA.
Well,
and
it
gave her
rewrote her.
powers.
It mutated her.
Yeah, that's
DNA.
right. She had to go out and back in multiple times. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was the Big Bang spectrum of that. Okay, so it was the hex. So technically all of the above. Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so the hex was literally creating Big Bang energy. Like they break it down as like hex magic is equivalent to the energy of the Big Bang. And her going through that multiple times, which is ridiculous, by the way, rewrote who she was as a human. So crazy.
Love that.
Love it.
All right, let's talk about the post-credit scene now. Like this post-credit scene was insane. The moment that I saw the mountains, it's very reminiscent of where Wanda grew up as a kid. Like when you go back to her, or in WandaVision, exactly.
Yeah, WandaVision
it's
Mountain,
very reminiscent of that. And then you see her just sitting on the stoop, right? And then we get the cut into the other room where she's using her astral form going through the Darkhold.
So
I was
dope.
like, Wanda, no, fuck. Because when she was like, I'm
Oh.
going to learn more about my magic,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is where she goes to find the Sorcerer Supreme, because that would be the one that would be able to teach her magic. And Wanda is just doubling down, and she's using the fucking Darkhold to learn magic. And then we hear the kids, right?
Yes.
So at first I was like, well, did the kids like somehow survive her destroying the hex?
Or somebody
No.
stole them.
No, she's hearing these kids in another universe, bro.
Totally.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
I think she's like
So,
cycling
but
through the
are they-
multiverse. in
That's-
that
Are-
that.
Exactly.
Love
There
that.
were I
Fuck
went through 3 different things
Or
when I saw
in
when I
another
saw that.
dimension.
I was like, somebody's playing
Another Earth.
Somebody's
Same shit.
playing her straight up, like they're using these kids that she created that no longer exist to appeal to her to get her to open something she don't need to open. Second, when she created these children, unlike Vision, they were human children that had souls, but they had no container that actually existed that tied them to this plane. So
Yeah.
when they had to dissipate, their souls still existed.
Yeah, that's
She
good.
made those people.
Yeah, that's really
And
good.
then when
That's
they
a good point.
when they evaporated, like their souls had nowhere to be, and they got trapped, or they got stole by somebody who just saw these 2 random souls floating.
That's so messed up, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
They're only
Yeah.
10 years old. Like, just
Exactly.
imagining this shit. The
Yeah, it's
torment
not
they
real,
could
it's
potentially
not.
be going through. It's
Uh-huh.
It's
terrible.
very real.
Yeah, and then third, it was like, she could be hearing them from somewhere else, but I was like, she legitimately hears those kids specifically. I was like, they did that for a reason. I'm like, those are her kids specifically.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
So, but
Okay.
Do
yeah.
you think
But then-
Nightmare or do you think Mephisto maybe grabbed them? Because
Bro,
maybe Mephisto could be the counter or not the antagonist.
that
for
is where
Doctor
my
Strange
like
and everything.
theory crafting for that ends, because I'm like, I don't know who that could be.
At
Oh, yeah, of
this
course.
point,
One of the
I
three.
think it's Chthon, bro, because Chthon can use the kids to force Wanda to use a very specific spell that would release him and bring him into this universe. So that's what I'm thinking, but it could definitely still be Nightmare. It could definitely still be Mephisto or some other demon. Like,
Yeah,
I love that it's so
I think the
ambiguous.
A lot of
Darkhold.
demons
I
out
think the
there, bro.
Darkhold. I think the Darkhold gives us access to like all of that
Yes.
stuff.
It opens
Yeah.
it
James,
busts that
based
realm
on
wide
your
open.
theory, I think that's a perfect jumping on point for Doctor Strange.
Mhm.
You know? Like, if Wanda releases something that she doesn't necessarily have control over, let's bring in the Sorcerer Supreme to try and tame it. You know?
But she's gonna be like, "Why are you here? I'm stronger than you." And he's
I
like,
know.
"You're right. You're
This
right,
book
but
says I'm
but
stronger
but I
than
know
you.
more than you."
Right, and that just goes.
But
it's
that
just
book
like,
also released
It's
this
right
Dark
here.
Lord.
it's raw potential versus like refined skill.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I love that
Well,
that's going to be an area of strategy
Yeah.
inside of conflict that they're
I
going
love
to
it.
explore in the future of the MCU, because now we're reaching, levels of nuance, in the storytelling and like the energies that be, and like it's starting to feel, a lot more like a continuity, you know what I mean? Like something that with all of this history interwoven in that is, set to the laws of this world that you can reference back to whenever something might be weird, or if you're confused on something, you have an interwoven like set of, like this template that you can reference back to.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really
By the way-
exciting for something, inside of the comic book.
So,
realm.
just a
Yeah.
quick mention to where she went. It looked very Latverian to me.
Mm,
It really did, bro. I was like,
wow. Don't
With
do
the
this.
mountain
Stop.
and the
Maybe.
rocks.
Don't tease me like that, bro.
Come
Yeah, don't
on,
get me
man.
excited.
Yeah,
He
because
he has to exist there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So jumping back real quick to what Knox was saying, like the potential of a Reed Richards type of appearance.
Yes,
And,
it makes so much sense to just introduce him through Sword, because then that puts him in the Cosmic Storm. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That gives him the powers.
because
you
in
know what I mean?
space and everything, and that would fit perfectly because Sword
Well,
is
yeah,
in space
I mean, like
now.
just picture it. It's like Sword conversations. Like, yo, we got this crazy smart. Like, we don't know where they got this guy. Like, where did they get?
Yeah,
this
we got
Richards
this smart
kid?
asshole over
You know
here
what I
working
mean?
on
Like,
space.
where
Right.
has he been our whole life? You know what I mean? We have this crazy project that we need the perfect motherfucker to head. Reed Richards is the perfect dude to go into this unknown area of space that we really think we can get some really good information on. Send him in. He's got like a whole family of motherfuckers that are like ready to go do this. You know what I mean? And he's the one that would be able to come back successfully from this. Oops, the cosmic storm radiated the ship.
Oh, no.
Oh no,
Oh,
I'm
no.
stretchy. You know what I mean? It's so easy. You know what I mean?
And Knox, who's your fan cast for them and Doom as well?
For Reed Richards,
Yeah.
Scott,
yeah.
Scott Krasinski.
Okay.
John
Well,
Krasinski.
Or John Krasinski.
Yeah,
my
thank you.
bad,
I'm
my
like-
bad.
yeah.
Scott Krasinski
Yeah,
is like
you-
a high school
Mike-
like friend
Mike
of mine.
Wazowski?
John Krasinski, the Office cat, Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
They were in War of the Realms. Fucking Buddy was drawing Reed Richards just like John Krasinski. You know what I mean? And like that was like a big thing in the community at the time. It's like, hold on, bro. There was so many memes of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I see what you're doing here. You know, so I feel like it's obvious at this point to me.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Look
then
what
get
happened. I
Eddie
mean, look what
Murphy.
happened with Samuel Jackson with the Ultimates.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
drew Nick Fury to look like Samuel Jackson,
Yeah.
and then when they went to cast him, he was just like, "Oh, this dude already fucking looks like me."
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Speaking
yeah,
of
fuck
the
it.
Ultimates, that's something I hope we get later on because I wanted Adam Brasher. It's like much as we wanted Reed Richards, I wanted Adam Brasher.
Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
dude.
Okay.
And Blue Marvel
okay,
as well. Blue Marvel.
So
Ooh.
Knox, you
That's who that
weren't
is.
here,
Blue
so, right?
Marvel.
I know.
So when they were talking about the aerospace engineer, we had two theories, right? It was like, okay, well, this would be a great point to bring in Reed Richards.
Yes.
Or it could be Blue Marvel, bro. This could be a
Yes.
great little Easter egg. I didn't need his origin in this, but just an Easter egg of Blue Marvel for the
Yeah.
future, bro. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And especially if they play it like the way in the comics where it's like he's always been here, but like everyone was
Yeah.
racist as fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Exactly.
that would be incredible right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
That's what I was really like. If there was one theory I really wanted to come true, that was
Yeah.
the one. That was the one. Man,
I'm just
Yeah.
happy to see Wanda using her chaos magic, like just walking inside the house, just getting some
Not like
tea.
that.
Oh yeah, of course, but like her just walking inside the house and everything, and then after that we see a fragment of her chaos magic, just learning the whole Darkhold and everything of where, and then we see the kid like, the whole kids thing threw me off. I'm like, oh shit, like what happened to them? But her actually taking the time to actually want to learn her chaos magic of who she is as a Scarlet Witch, it puts her to have an understanding of who she is. And plus the outfit. We didn't talk much about the outfit and everything,
It's
but the
cold,
outfit
though.
is cold.
It's cold,
It-
though.
it's
Cold.
so good. Like they,
Yes.
the costume designer really
Snaps.
broke, like really snap on this.
I mean,
And-
thank you for giving her an actual costume.
Yeah.
I believe we
Yeah.
actually got
Yeah.
it.
And hopefully when we get the hero pose or the hero name, like hopefully she tells people, call me the Scarlet Witch. Don't call me Wanda no more. Like as her hero name, you know, Captain America, Falcon, or everything. Her name is Scarlet Witch. Like hopefully she tells people that and everything. Like that'll be really fascinating. But the costume was cold. It was beautifully well done, and the way that she just transformed from her regular clothes into her costume, really well done. I love the
yeah.
transition. It looks beautiful.
Very good. Chef's kiss. Well
Yeah,
said.
it was so good, and God, Elizabeth Olsen is fine as fuck. God, she looks good. Man. But yeah, I thought the suit looked really good. Like I was even okay with the costume they had for her in Endgame. I thought that was fine. But this
Yeah.
this is so much closer. This
The
is
best
so
one.
much better for
She's
Scarlet
got the
Witch.
crown now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing, bro.
By the
It's
way,
so
I
good.
loved how that kept taking shape. I like that.
Yeah.
I was like,
is
that's
this just gonna
sick!
be energy the whole time, or are we gonna get like an entire?
It was so
manifestation?
Yes,
cool.
no,
I
We're
loved
just
it.
gonna
I
rock
loved
this.
it.
Yeah.
I also
it'd
like
be
that.
cool,
Like, is it gonna be like just visible there in a bit, or
Yeah,
you're gonna
like-
to like actually be real? And
It
then at
feels
the end,
more.
oof.
It feels more live action movie to just have it be like, you know, energy that like loads whenever she's like really in her element. You know what I mean? And then it goes away. That feels more like movie, like homage to me. But like
It's
the
like
fact that
Fox
it
X-Men,
actually-
bro.
Exactly.
They were afraid
exactly.
to do it. Like
Yes.
fully commit to it.
Yes.
MCU's not
Yes.
afraid.
Exactly, but yes, dude, exactly. You know, so when it fully manifested and it was solid, I was like, let's fucking go, Feige.
Yeah, man. In
Jack
Feige we
Schaefer,
trust, man.
Yeah, like all, the whole team, dog.
Oh yeah. And I mean, people complain about the credits, man, but it's like those people deserve the credit. These are the people that make this show what it is. Like the show is only so amazing because of them.
Yeah.
Our production, I know that each person needs to have their name there. Like those people that post all the VFX, all the lights, all the camera, every person that puts their hours. Sets is like 12 hours, maybe 16 hours, long shoots and everything. It's time and money. So those people those 8-minute, 10-minute credits should be there because those people put their time and money to be there and work there and keep the secrets for so long because those people knew everything here.
Yeah, and you never know like what those board like meetings look like. Obviously, Jack Schaefer's name is like creator, screenplay writer, whatever.
Right.
But I mean, like you don't know who else is involved in the creative process and the decision making, who influences who. You know what I mean? So when you have a masterpiece like this, like I don't know who's like, I'm pretty sure it was Jack Schaefer. We can blame for this or credit for this. But like just the fact that you use the like kind of like pseudo slapstick comedy of 1950s sitcom storytelling to hide the logical inconsistencies of this broken world was just like one of the best decisions that I've ever seen like someone make inside of the MCU. You know what I mean? Like that was brilliant. And there's been a lot of times where I'm like, okay, this really came together and holy shit, you know, from a bird's eye perspective, this is some shit right here. But there weren't too many like spot moments inside of the MCU where I was just like mind blown by one decision. You know what I mean? And the fact that they use that old school sitcom veil to, you know, give you ambiguous breadcrumbs leading into this overarching mystery was just like masterfully decided by whoever the fuck decided that. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think Matt Shakman deserves a lot of credit too. The dude directed every episode, and that's insane when you compare it to like Mandalorian, where they divvy up the workload. Like each episode has a different director. Some people will direct multiple episodes over the course of the season, but the dude literally directed all 9 episodes. Wow. That's a shit ton of work. So I definitely think he and Jack Schaefer are both like the brains behind WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. On that topic, like Knox, expound on that a little bit more. Like, what are your like overall thoughts of WandaVision season 1? And then I'll kick it to everyone else.
Sure. I feel like I kind of already said like everything throughout the course of like the conversation, but one thing that I'll just reiterate, like all of my favorite points. One, the one that I just made about the decisions in like this in the beginning of the storytelling, where we didn't really know exactly what was going on yet and how they showed us that there was something very wrong. You know what I mean? And a lot of those moments come from hindsight, because until the breakfast for dinner scene, when Buddy starts choking on the shit and you got Kitty from That 70s Show, like, shut up, Mark, or whatever, like she kept saying like over and over again.
I wish it was shut up, Mark.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, you know, like what's going on here? And it's like that replaces the tension and the chemicals that you get from watching action scenes, because you have these unsettling, jarring, you know what I mean, like shifts in the tone, you know what I mean, that replaces, you know, the action that you would expect from a story about superheroes, you know what I mean? So I think that all of that was brilliant. I think that the casting obviously was brilliant inside of Agatha, inside of pretty much everybody. Paul Bettany, like I said at the beginning of the stream, carried the fuck out of this acting wise. And I just think that once again, this is the best stretch of MCU storytelling that we've seen so far, you know what I mean? And I can't praise it enough. I wasn't ready to love it as much as I did. I didn't know that I needed things from this cinematic universe that WandaVision gave us. So now I have like whole new expectations for the future of this cinematic universe based on this milestone. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. Ray, I'm going to toss it to you.
I mean, I said it when I was on here last time. I was going into this the least hype about WandaVision compared to everything else that they had told us we were going to get. I was like, oh man, we get WandaVision first? Come on, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. And then it turns out absolutely pleasantly surprised. I love this. I was looking forward to it every single Friday. It was so much fun to look forward to all week long. It's like, all right, what's happening in WandaVision this week? You know, that's a fun thing to look forward to the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I love long form comic book stuff like this. And this was absolute like evidence that they can do it when they take the time and money to do it right.
Yeah.
So it's like, thank you for taking the time to tell a good story, because you don't just have to. Superhero stories are fun, but they can be told well and acted well. Like that, it's all stuff that was made up. It can be fun. It can be done. It can happen. And this was just the proof of the pudding for me. So
yes,
keep doing this. Keep that same energy for all of them, please.
For real.
They can be different genres, but keep the same energy. Like, please. And I will be very, very happy
Oh yeah, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be a very different genre.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, and I'm excited about it. I'm like, I'm glad.
Absolutely.
I'm liking that all these are going to be different genres. Hopefully, because that keeps us watching. I think you know what I'm saying.
Bro,
Variety is
we
the
got
spice of
what
life.
if shit coming up. What if
Yeah,
is
bro.
crazy. I
That'll
never
be
thought
fun.
I'd ever see that
Can't wait.
inside of like this situation. That was such a good idea.
So yeah, loved it. I had a good time.
Yeah, Vash.
When we first started the show with Villains, we did the first 3 episodes, and a lot of people was critiquing of the sitcoms and everything with what's going on. Me, I didn't mind it because I like storytelling and I have patience. But with how, if you binge watch all episodes 1 through 9 now, you will see it as a better condensed story and now as a whole. When you watch it as week to week, I was underwhelmed from the beginning because I had low expectations from the show itself because of how possibly good or bad could be, because what Ray said, we had no type of connections with Wanda and Vision. From what over the years of the MCU films, we only knew them as a couple, but we never actually experienced them as a couple. We never saw the love grow with them as characters. And how the show ended from episodes 1 through 9, I love it. It made me actually like Wanda, like I like her from the comics and from the cartoons. I love it. Vision, I just read Tom King's run of White Vision and everything, and it was amazing.
Hey,
I just read it.
Tom King.
It's amazing. The storytelling of that comic, and for those that have not read it, go read Tom King. The Vision run is amazing. Me and James review it with Chris on his show, which he could give the plug later. And it is such an amazing show. And like what Knox said, it is probably one of my favorite installments of the MCU. WandaVision is currently my favorite, just like the show Mando is my favorite of the current Star Wars, and then some of the cartoons, but that's a whole different conversation. But WandaVision is one of my favorite installments of the MCU because it is storytelling at its best, but it's also patience, and it builds up to what more that could give in with Phase 4 and Phase 5 and so on. So I am very happy with the direction, the writers, and the actors. Very much props to them because they did a magnificent job.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Chris.
Yeah, I echo a lot of everything that you guys have said. I mean, I went into the show knowing that I was going to like it, but I ended up loving this show. Like, this cracks my top 5 favorite MCU movies or shows now. Definitely. I think the beginning of the show was a ton of fun with them paying the homages to the various sitcoms. Like, that was a blast. But like I said earlier, the most striking thing to me about this show is how emotionally intelligent it is. Like, this is a story about trauma and grief. And especially now, after 2020, like, this is a show that people needed.
Yeah,
they needed to see their fictional heroes go through traumatic things and be human with them. You know, that one line that you mentioned earlier, Knox, that Vision states in episode 8, like, what is grief if not love persevering? Dude, how many people needed to hear that this year?
So many, me included.
You know, like, so that's
many.
why I just absolutely fell in love with this show over the course of the last 9 weeks. And I think Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany have wonderful chemistry, like incredibly powerful chemistry on screen. They can do the comedy, they can do the drama, like, absolutely underrated in terms of their acting abilities. So
that was so well said, bro.
I love this show.
Can I piggyback off of that a little bit?
Absolutely.
So, okay. So, like, you were going into, like, how this is a story about trauma and grief. The stories that inspired this story arc are, like, House of M, Tom King's Vision.
Right.
Very traumatic, grief-filled stories. I mean, more so on Wanda, on House of M than, like, you know, Tom King's Vision. But, like, Tom King's Vision essentially, you know, like, kind of, like, gave us this, like, family atmosphere.
Right. It has, like, the superhero moving into the suburbs.
Yes, exactly.
You know, but there's still, nobody gets a happy ending in that comic.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah, but, like, the biggest stories I feel like for these characters are, like, House of M, Tom King's Vision, then, like, Avengers Disassembled, you know what
definitely.
I mean? And, like, I feel like we got all of those in this story arc, and the amount of respect that Jack Schaefer and the creative team paid to the source material is just levels that I feel like we haven't seen in comic book film at least not to this degree, in my opinion. And maybe I'm just remembering other like well, inside of ones that have like overall like overarching continuities. Now, if you take like isolated, you know, movies like Watchmen and V for Vendetta that literally try to be like page for page, like carbon copies, you know, translated on film, then like you can't really argue against things like that. But inside of this situation, I feel like this is the most canonic, you know, storytelling that we've seen on film, and especially in such a, you know, concentrated stretch, you know, of like 10 hours, you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of source material in 10 hours, you know what I mean?
Every week, and James and Vash can vouch for this, every single week we were all like, this is my favorite episode. No, this is my favorite. Like, and that sounds so stupid, and I hate doing that so much, but like, literally, every episode
stupid to be excited about things you like.
Better and better.
Yeah.
It just kept getting better and better. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, when is this show going to plateau? It has to happen at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it was with Mando, and then Mando just kept getting good.
Right? Like, I'm with Chris. Like, I knew I was going to like WandaVision, but I did not know I would love it to this extent. I did not know that it would also become, like, a top 5 MCU thing for me, period. You know what I mean? I was thinking about it. This is way better than the Ant-Man movies. It's way better than the Thor movies. It's way better than the Iron Man movies. I think it's better than Cap 1. So it's like, it's really up there for me, dude. Like, this is hands down the best writing in the MCU, in my opinion.
Yes, thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, the writing just blew me away every single episode. And the way that they use sitcoms to just harken back to a simpler time in Wanda's life, where she was hanging out with her family, and just watching sitcoms.
Hey, that episode messed me up, bro.
Yes. It was so good.
And it's so crazy how like it's real life where people have gone through war right outside their building, but they just rather watch TV because that's an escapism, and that's what Wanda did with sitcoms. That's the way she escaped the reality, and that's what she did it with the Hex and everything. Like, people said, "Oh, this is boring." I'm like, no, there's a reason. Why do you think we're watching these TV shows? Because it gives an escapism for us to escape our own reality. That's why we read comics, manga, anime, cartoon, books. That's why we have these type of mediums to escape our own reality and understand a different type of world that we could dive into.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, this is such a great story, and it just makes me even more excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I was just reading an article about Kevin Feige's interview that he did, where he talks about the conversations that he's had with Anthony Mackie, talking about how being the next Captain America, how like the world will see this new Captain America being a black man. You know what I mean? So they're going to go into that, all of that stuff on the show. So I'm very, very curious to see like what other themes they're going to go into in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I can't wait to get that in 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
2 weeks away. It's going to be absolute fire. Knox, I will get you back to talk about one of those episodes for sure, man. It's going to be lit. But any final thoughts before we head out for the night?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this. This is like...
Yeah, this
is like the highlight of my fucking week, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I never get to do this, you know what I mean? And this is just a cool platform, bro. This is like an amazing aesthetic and atmosphere. And this is an amazing group to talk about this with, for real.
Oh, man, thank you so much.
This is a real good time. You're going to make me go read some more Sam Wilson, which I appreciate.
Right?
Now. Because, like, I love that run. When that first happened, I lost my shit. So, yep, I'm going to have to do that now.
Yeah, I'll have to do the same. Thank you guys for having me back a third time. I can't wait to get my jacket.
I need my Livestrong band too. Don't forget about me, bro. I'm dead serious.
I need my other ring now. Okay, where we going? All right, yeah.
Does Villains have the budget for all this?
It will.
I don't know, James.
Y'all
do we?
will better.
We will once from our chat, we will once we get monetized and pass over 1 subscribers, because John said that he don't mind being in his bag, 2 shows back to back, Thursday and then Friday, just spend that money. I'm like, damn, John don't mind spending that.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, huge shout out to John Tate, man. Like, he comes through all of our Anime Lately streams and just
I can already tell he's clutch. Yeah, I'm seeing him in the chat. I'm like,
because he be giving in 20s, 5,
champion.
30s out there. I'm like, we
Yeah.
appreciate that last
Yeah,
day
man,
I
like,
was on
it's-
stream. I was like, woo.
And he asked some of the best questions, like legitimately
He does.
asked good
I was-
questions.
That's
I was
the
just
best.
gonna say,
He
like,
does.
I
That's the
really
best.
appreciate.
Yeah.
I was just
really
gonna say,
appreciate
like,
that.
the super chats are great, man, but like what you bring to the conversation and you
It's
just
the
coming
best.
and hanging out with us is literally the
And
best
that's what
part.
I tell people all the
Yeah.
time. Like the reason why these are live is so we can have a conversation with you while we're having a conversation.
Absolutely.
So when you add to that conversation, it makes it even better for us. So
Right,
thank
and
you.
it's immortalized. You know, it's like
Yep.
it's like a quid pro quo. Like you jump on and ask a question, we have an amazing conversation about it, and your name is right there for everyone to see for the rest of the time that this video is available online. So it's a cool feeling. I don't know. At
Like-
least it was to me back when I was just a watcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It like Ray said, one of my best lines I said, I think like 2 or 3 months ago, I said that we are here, like for example, 5 people on the panel, but there's a 6 people on the panel, and that's the whole live chat. They're also
Facts.
they add a conversation to the show. They bring the whole conversation with us, because if there is no chat, there's no us as well, because we're here for you guys as well.
Great point, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I think that's a great place to end the show. Like Knox, Chris, Ray, thank you guys so much for
Thank
being
you,
here.
man.
Seriously, like I was nerding out this entire week. I'm like, dude, I have a council
Yeah.
of like sweaty nerds to just talk about
The
all of
sweatiest
this
of
comic
councils.
Hey,
stuff, bro.
sweaty is right, boy. I swear to God.
No,
as
bro.
soon as this shit
I had
had
to
on-
turn my AC off.
I had my nut fan on the entire time. What you talking about?
And big shout out to John Schnepp. I know that we don't talk about him a lot, but the thing is, he is the king of games. Like, they actually brought the name Sweaty and Normal, and that's why we have the show, aka Villains. So he probably watched WandaVision already up there. He probably knows what's gonna happen with Loki and everything. So hopefully he's
Dude.
enjoying those shows and everything, man.
Schnepp would have loved WandaVision. He would have loved it. It's a shame that he's gone, man. But this show is a dedication to that dude. Like, he inspired me so much.
Same.
And this show is just everything that I've ever wanted. I will steal Chris to be a co-host.
Yeah.
Hopefully I
No,
can
Knox
steal
too.
Knox
He's still in the
and
chat.
Ray.
Knox you hear
too.
this?
Knox too. Because
That's
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want us to be like a 5-person council right now and just do villains every week. That would be my
be fun,
perfect
bro.
world.
Hold on.
I told
wait a
James-
minute. We might have to do this. Okay?
I told James.
Don't tease me,
Knox,
bro.
Knox,
Don't
I
tease
promise
me,
you
bro.
this.
Oh, man.
I told James back in October, November. I was like, yo, when we launch a show, I don't mind as you and me first, but I want to steal Knox. Like, in the next couple months, I want to steal Knox. I told James, right, James? I told you I want to steal Knox, right?
Yeah, we had so many conversations about who we wanted on, and it was just like, I mean, we have to get Knox for the finale, bro.
Listen,
like,
listen,
we
as
have
much
to
as I
get
would love
Knox.
to do
Fucking
this,
grateful
I'm
that
gonna
y'all
have to
did
be
this.
your
Is
Black
crazy,
Panther.
man.
Just call me when you need me. Okay?
I'm the king.
Those are the
I know
fucking best, man.
all of you guys are busy. You guys all have your own stuff going on, but I really, really appreciate you guys making the time to be here. I had an absolute fucking blast.
Yes.
We will definitely have all 5 of us on for a couple episodes of Falcon
Yeah,
and Winter
this
Soldier. If
ain't
you guys
over.
are down.
Let's do it.
Oh no, this ain't over.
Oh yeah, yeah,
This
it's
is-
gonna
this
be
is
an
everything.
absolute blast. But Knox, why didn't you give the people your plugs?
Yeah, it's Project Manga everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, pretty much anywhere that you would expect to find us. You can find us by typing in Project Manga. We review Weekly Shonen Jump in a podcast setting, me and 3 other idiots, and we do that weekly. So come check us out.
Yeah, I mean, just like Knox knows his shit about comics,
He knows
like,
his stuff.
Anime and manga, bro. Like, you guys will not be disappointed. Check out Knox at Project Manga for sure.
Thank
Ray,
you.
I mean, and I love listening to those guys talk because y'all get into a whole different bag and it cracks me up.
Oh, yeah,
but
opened the Duffy up.
they legitimately bring in, like, you know, there's some philosophical like references they get into, and it's always
do.
fun to listen to them jump into that. Because don't nobody else do it like that. So I appreciate y'all. So I want you to know you got a fan.
Thank you.
But no, I'm RayApollo everywhere. RayApollo. I'm the black one. I am on Twitch mostly. I'm also on Twitter. It's great. And YouTube, I do a lot of game content. I got some new stuff that I've been working on for a hot minute. A lot of new takes on video games and reviews, and it's a good time. So come hang out.
Chris.
You can find all my personal ramblings on Twitter at Chris Conkling. And then, of course, you could subscribe to Pop-O-Holics on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We got Spotify, we got Apple, all of them. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can go to @Pop-O-Holics. We're on YouTube. Go to @Pop-O-Holicscast on Instagram, and then @Pop-O-Holics on Facebook.
What's the theme for this month?
This month, in honor of WandaVision, we're doing reality distortion. So we've already talked about Truman Show. We're actually going to have James and Vash on this week to talk about WandaVision in its entirety. Yeah. So we're going to tackle the full season again. Oh my God. We're also going to be covering Pleasantville and a couple other films that have to do with like perspective and distortion of reality. So it's a lot of fun.
That's and you just got a fan, Chris, because Knox about to go like
Truman Show, dude. My eyes got big as a silver dollar. I was like, wait a minute, you talk about peak Jim Carrey? Stop it,
dude. For our Truman Show episode, we actually had a guest on from Australia who has a podcast called The Rise of Jim Carrey, like strictly
nice
Jim Carrey expert. So definitely go listen to that episode. It's a lot of fun.
I'm a fan instantly.
Vash.
For me, you can find me at Legendary Vash. I am the CEO of Anime Lately. I do a show weekly with the guys here. We do My Hair discussion. And I'm also a freelance editor and production assistant. So you can find me doing a lot of work stuff that I will not be able to tell publicly. But if you, to my friends here, I'll be telling them. But you guys will never find out what I'll work on. But other than that, definitely go support the Patreon project manga as well, because they have some dope content. I listen to it like months late because I'll be behind on my own work, so I'll be listening to their own type of episodes of like 5 episodes before their current episode. But definitely go support them out. Their Discord is hella fun, super active all the time. So I want to get that quick shout out to them as well.
Thanks a ton, Bash. Wow.
Yeah, man. Like, please follow these amazing creators. All of their links are in the description below. Follow these guys. You will not be disappointed at all. You know where you can find me on Twitter at JBExclusive and see the number 4 spoilers. And of course, every single Friday, you will find Vash and I right here on C4S Villains. We got so much dope shit coming for you guys. Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got Loki, Superman and Lois, The Flash, Invincible. We got so much.
I better be back here for Invincible. I better
bro.
be here for
the premiere.
For that too. I swear to God.
Invincible's gonna be awesome.
That's March 19th.
Done and done, bro. Done and done. Yeah, we'll get you guys on for the Invincible premiere because it's gonna premiere with like 3 episodes. So that's gonna be dope. But yeah, you guys can follow us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share the video if you guys like villains. Like, I want to make this show huge. Like, Vash and I, again, I keep saying this, but we've been planning this for such a long time, and now that we're finally here on episode 8, like, it's the greatest feeling in the world, honestly, just to get to talk to my friends about what we love: comics, entertainment, Star Wars, all of that shit. So thank you guys in chat so much for being here. You guys make the show, like we talked about before. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you guys on the next one.
And subscribe and like and comment.
Peace out.